Hello, Big Picture listeners. In case you didn't hear, we're headed to Chicago for a live show at the Steppenwolf Theater on Monday, July 21st. We couldn't be more excited. If you'd like to join us, this is a friendly reminder that tickets go on sale tomorrow, Wednesday, June 4th at 12 p.m. Central Time. We hope to see you there.
I'm Sean Fennessey.
I'm Amanda Dobbins.
And this is The Big Picture, a conversation show about 2000, or as Conan O'Brien would say, in the year 2000. CR is here. We are drafting again.
Sing it, though?
Who would say? I don't know. Who says that?
In the year 2000. That's what they do, right? Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Yeah. You wanted to bring energy to this podcast. Bring it, okay?
I'm relying on our special friends to bring the energy on this podcast today. We have reconvened a septet? What's seven people?
The High Council of Cinema?
A septet.
Yeah.
This is 1 year later. 1 year ago, we did the 1999 movie draft.
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago?
Was it a year ago in June?
It is June.
No, I know, but was it last June?
We're off to a great start.
I believe it was June. Was it not June? In the erstwhile Bill Simmons studio.
Yeah.
Why are you? What?
I just didn't know what was happening. You're good. You're good.
Okay. Rob Mahoney is here. Joanna Robinson is here. Mallory Rubin is here. Van Lathan is here. Amanda Dobbins is here. CR is here. I'm here. We're talking about 2000. 1999. Who won that draft?
I thought I did.
Joanna won.
Okay.
And
who?
Yeah,
And-
according to which
Was
The
there
voting
a vote?
ballot
ballot.
system.
Did
Was
we
there
have a vote?
Yeah, I won. Van got second. Mallory got third.
Whoa.
The Ringerverse crew ran the
Yeah.
board.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been held over our head ever since.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think you've won the last 19 House of R
No.
hype drafts.
Yeah.
that's true. That's
Turnabout.
true. That's probably true.
And we thought maybe I won Tom Cruise, right?
We didn't think that.
No one
did.
You looked at the
We said that.
subreddit dedicated to you and came to that conclusion.
That's how it happened. I just thought I got a vibe from people. Everybody was like,
Who did win that,
damn,
Bill?
Chris crushed it.
We did vote, but we didn't get results. I think the scuttlebutt was
Interesting.
Bill.
Well, it's probably
Yeah,
me.
well, I think, Bill was kind of putting that out into the universe.
He
and
was.
so it
he
did
was.
come back to him.
But he did have the turn, which he
Sure,
thought was
we were
bad,
also
but was
nice to
actually
him,
good.
which was
we-
fine.
We did give him a couple of breaks.
Yeah.
Who will win today? I don't know.
Not me. I'll be finishing last.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been hearing from people pre-record that this is very much a vibes draft for a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that because we don't like the movies? Let's have that conversation.
Let's do it.
2000.
Yeah.
It's
who
not
we
as
were,
good as
what
99.
movies were.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. 99 needed seven
Yeah.
people because it was such a
Yeah.
powerful
Right.
movie year. 2000, a little bit of a hangover.
And yet you've added a category, so we will be selecting more movies.
Well, maybe I'll remove a category while we're doing
Oh,
this, but we'll
hell
see.
no.
No? You want to do all seven?
We must forge ahead.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
it was actually sobering to see the amount of movies that I was just kind of like, it's a very TNT on a Sunday afternoon.
It
Very
is.
much.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. It is.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
much.
It is
Love that.
before the basketball game cinema.
Yeah. For the basketball games.
99 was easy because in addition to there being, 15 out and out classics, the next 30 movies were also a lot of fun, a lot of personal favorites. I think there's a pretty strong upper tier in 2000.
Definitely.
Once
Yeah.
we get into the B
it's
tier,
okay.
it'll be interesting. It's a little outside the general Amanda zone, I
Well,
would say. Some of
okay.
the all-time classics.
But I think Dobbins is going to thrive in the later rounds.
Listen, please
Thrive.
don't put anything out there, okay?
Yeah.
I do have a strategy. I said to Chris before we started, I did some prep,
Mhm.
but we might be winging it a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying
We.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the royal.
The royal
me.
we,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
Sure.
But I don't know if I think the top tier is as strong as other years, and then the rest of it is weird. So you have to go searching for value.
Okay.
Mm.
Rob, I'd like to start with
Mhm.
you. The year 2000.
Mm.
Who were you? What was your relationship to movies?
I was 11 years old. Very important year for me. It was the year I got really into Green Day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
And so I would say it was the year that my taste as a person
Yeah.
started to develop outside of my family for the
Is that
first time.
Warning? What year was that? American Idiot?
I got
That's-
really into Nimrod. Was the
Nimrod.
album.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even know if that was the newest
Yeah.
one, but I
Yeah.
went camping and a dude was playing "Time of Your Life" on an acoustic guitar, and I was
You're
like,
set.
"That's
That's
what
me.
I want."
Yeah.
You're set.
Yeah.
Is that Hitchin' a Ride? What was the? What else? is
Hitchin'
on
a
Nimrod?
Ride.
Yeah.
What else is on that album? I'm
Green Day
totally
Draft
blanking.
right
Nimrod's kind of when I jumped out.
Nice Guys
Yeah.
Finish Last, I think, is on that one. It's
Okay.
a banger of an album, but I would say it applies just as much to movies. Like, this is me finding some stuff that I'm into
that my parents aren't into, that my friends aren't necessarily into, that my brother's not like handing off to me. Like I'm trying to find my stuff at this time.
Joe.
I was in college. I was working at a movie theater this year. This is the one and only year I worked at a movie theater. Learned how to clean the butter machine among
That's an
many other
Amazon
things.
Wow.
Yeah. The one and only year I worked at a movie
You
theater.
really are at your creative peak right now.
Yeah, like
yeah,
production
opportunity
van.
everywhere.
that's a great little summer thing there. I like that.
Were you seeing a new movie every day?
Yeah, and a lot of them, I've seen the end of a lot of these movies so many
Yeah.
times.
Oh.
Because you just walk in with your
Yeah.
broom and your bucket waiting to clear up the people's popcorn, and you watch the end of Almost Famous 900 times.
Okay. But did you see the beginning as well or no?
Yes.
Okay.
So can I ask, sorry, raising my hand. What is I'm channeling 2000 Amanda. What is the etiquette and like, how many movies do you get to see a day, like in full, when you're working at a movie theater? How are you
If you're
scheduling?
on shift,
Yeah.
you don't see any in full while you're on shift.
Okay.
But you can see unlimited when you're not working.
But is
Okay.
that kind of like a lifeguard doesn't want to go swimming after a shift? Like, did you want to get out of the movie theater?
No.
Yeah.
Some,
So would you go early or would you stay late?
I had the closing shift a lot because I was also in school, and so I had
Oh,
the
okay.
closing shift
Right,
a lot.
right, right.
But like on my days off, I would just go to the movies all the time.
This is the show.
Okay. I told you.
It's a love story
Sure.
Oh,
between
God,
you
beautiful.
And cinema.
and
Cinema,
and
yeah.
cinema
Yeah.
and a young cinephile.
Mhm.
Every time you go into the clean the movies up at the end, there is a young black.
Okay.
Okay.
It's our story.
A young black kid who's sitting there.
Yeah.
He's watching all of these movies because he's running away from a fraught home life.
Okay.
Mhm.
He's explaining the movies to you because you can't afford and don't have the time to see them at any other time. You guys just love
Yep.
blossoms over film,
Yep.
and that's the entire film.
Jungle Fever meets
Beautiful.
Cinema Paradiso.
Jungle Fever,
Yes.
Fever, Cinema
A
Paradiso.
little Adventureland in there, I feel
Little
like.
bit.
Who's
Yeah.
the black
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart? You know,
Yeah.
how are we doing this thing?
Here's a key factor. In order to win my heart, this person needs to not just leave their trash all over the ground.
He
Okay.
And
helps you
that's-
clean up.
What's the vibe on that in
Yeah.
general these days?
Yeah.
Do you guys pick up
I
your
pick
stuff
up all
at the
my
end of the
Yes,
movie?
yeah, of course.
By the
Throw
way,
your trash
I'm just
away.
asking. Why are you asking?
Not
And while
only do
we're
I-
at it, take your shopping cart back to the little shopping cart holder.
It's a gift.
in the parking lot.
Oh, I know you guys have heard
Wait,
the Code
okay,
50
wow.
story, right?
We-
If
we
you-
pivoted
if-
away from movie theaters
If
very
you,
quickly with that.
if you do one thing, help the Code 50 at wherever you are by taking your shopping cart back. It is a grueling job in the summer. I was a Walmart Code 50 for an
So you
entire
go
summer.
around the parking lot, you grab the carts.
On a Saturday in Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
it's 95
Yeah.
degrees, and you get all the carts, they're lined up like little ducks in a row, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, they're all over the place. It's a
What if-
never-ending job.
What if, let's just say hypothetically, a person has an insane screaming toddler and you need to get them out of the cart and into the car and get out of the parking lot as quickly as possible? Is there an allowance for not returning the cart to the space where they belong in
I've been
that
there.
instance?
It is tough. I think you gotta keep the toddler in the cart, park the cart, and then carry the toddler
Yeah.
back.
Are y'all looking for permission or forgiveness?
I think
Yeah.
he's looking
I'm
at the
just
latter.
speaking hypothetically.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not from
Yeah.
any personal
He wants to know
experience.
when he witnesses
Absolutely.
behavior like this,
Yeah. Other
how
people.
he should
Yes,
respond.
how
Also,
can I-
another thing that you could do is that if you are parking your car and you see someone having the issue that Sean or I may hypothetically be having,
Right.
you take the cart
It takes a
back on your
village.
way.
It
Can
you
I
know?
make another suggestion?
Sure.
Live a more continental lifestyle and only buy food for the meal that's next. You
Wow.
know? Like
Okay.
kind of like the Italian or
Sounds-
French
that
style,
sounds
stopping by the
expensive.
market
Wow.
on the way home from
Chris does not
All right,
shop
and then
at
why don't you just
Costco.
bring it on over to my house when you're done shopping for yourself?
I would have.
I don't have children and I don't cook, so I can't comment.
Can I put one more button on this movie theater thing?
Yes.
Which is that it's not on our list, but I believe my memory serves. There was an Exorcist re-release this year, and it made people very ill in the cinema. And that is
Oh.
something that we had to deal with.
Oh no.
that sucks.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Toss
You,
out
you
the
were
cookies
mopping.
there?
no.
Did you hold a mop?
That's terrible.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's cool. Mallory, in 2000, did you hold a mop?
It's possible that at some point my mother set some chores and said, Swiffer that fucking floor, fold the laundry, iron it, It's entirely possible. Yeah.
Does that explain your fastidiousness to this day?
I think my husband has some feedback recently on the tidiness level in our home. So Chris can ask him about that as Adam texts him every day with new 4K links. And they discuss their passion for physical media. It's beautiful.
The brotherhood just
It's
grows.
really thrilled for you guys. Adam has had 2,000, as Sean knows, DVDs for years, just waiting for other people to talk to him about this. So he's delighted. In the year 2000, I was, 8th grade into 9th grade. So end of middle school into the beginning of high school. So it's an interesting stretch in my movie history where, like, this was a big time for middle school, early high school movies, right? I don't know, 800 sleepovers where we watched Center Stage, for example, right?
Wow.
Like there were some movies that just feel inextricable from thinking back to those years. I was also still seeing movies with my parents. Like I definitely saw Meet the Parents with my parents,
nice.
not together because they split when I was 2, but that's for another
What'd you guys
podcast.
see, like American Psycho?
That's for everybody.
Check
Right.
out.
And then that's kind of the third bucket of like, I'm an adult and I am becoming my own person and I will engage with mature cinema.
Wait, how old were you again?
13.
Okay, because you're like, I
14?
was an adult, but I'm having
Yeah.
sleepovers and watching
Yeah.
Center
Oh,
Stage. Yeah.
you know, love a sleepover.
Excuse me.
And some of these movies then I
Still
discovered
happens
later
for
in
some of
high
us.
school. You know, some of these movies were a big part of my life later in high school or even in college. So the formative years, I mean, very similar in that sense to 99.
Man, 2000.
I was in the wilderness film wise because this was a banner year for me. I had left Louisiana Tech and transferred to Southern University.
You hit the portal.
I did. And when we got on the yard, me and my friend Ryan Davenport, my very best friend, known him since the first grade. When we
You
got
were his best friend.
I thought so too.
yeah,
Brutal.
I'm sorry about that. When we got on the yard,
Tough.
on Southern's campus, HBCU, Baton Rouge, we couldn't concentrate on anything else other than what was going on in the yard.
What was going on?
Female.
Foliage? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Couldn't
did,
concentrate on, like, I'm looking at this.
And did you say it like that, just like that?
Female.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
actually didn't say it. That's actually the PC version.
did you see any films that year? Or?
I saw films. Like I saw films, but so many of these movies
God.
were DVD rentals.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
All
so
of
you're
us
familiar
hanging
with
out
the
for hanging
DVD
out.
menu.
Yeah.
So many of these films
And you're like,
are
let's play Dude, Where's My Car again.
Yeah.
DVD
Yeah,
rentals.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
looking at some of these movies,
Yeah.
and I wasn't
Different
in the
kind of Battlefielders
theaters
that year.
as much as I was before, because at Tech, I was going to the movies all the time because there was less to do. But when we was on the yard,
What do you mean by less to do?
the Tech was, it was up there in Ruston, so I was going to the movies a lot. But man, on the yard, it was a Kappa party, it was a Perfect 10 party. You know what I mean? We had Harambe, we had all different types of.
What did you say, Harambe?
Okay, so Harambe is not just the name of an ill-fated primate.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's one of the defining characters of Amanda's wedding to me. 'Cause that was she got
Harambe
married the weekend.
is also the name.
I knew as soon as I heard that word that's where we were going.
Look at you.
Remember,
the
Brett and I
other
just
morning,
read
right?
each other's salon.com
Amanda, when you
headlines about Harambe.
when you celebrate your wedding anniversary, do you pour one out for Harambe?
Yeah. Yeah. You visit his gravesite.
And what was the Thunder team that night?
That was through Klay Thompson game 6.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
so for
Oh,
that,
shit.
yeah,
Crazy,
it was a big
crazy
night.
wedding.
Yeah.
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 A lot of people watching basketball on their phones at midnight.
Before they all stood
With,
up on
like,
chairs and
3G.
started throwing things around to.
Wait, who's the other Harambe?
Harambe is a multicultural festival
Okay.
that happens between LSU and Southern, where everybody comes out and there's a step show. So I was locked in.
Okay.
So, but I saw all of these movies at different times, but a lot of this stuff is in bedroom, in living room viewing.
I
Later
noticed
on
you
in the
led with
year,
bedroom.
Yeah.
bedroom.
I noticed as well.
or
Think
Why not try
about
other
year
rooms?
after.
females.
Female.
Yeah.
Amanda.
AKAs.
I mean,
deltas.
hard to follow that one, especially with where I was. I was thinking on the way in many ways, maybe 2000 was like peak performance Amanda. Like I turned 16, got my driver's license.
Oh wow.
state champion cross country. I mean, I was not number one, but the team was
Whoa.
absolutely
yeah.
smashing those APs, you know,
Mhm.
5s only.
Yeah.
So it was
Sick
like,
brag.
it was like, I
Is this
was
an
off to-
intimidation tactic?
you know,
How many
had
college-
I
how many
gotten-
college credits?
Fives
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
AP
Have I took the SATs? That went okay. Like, have
We
I
need a
gotten
score.
back
Yeah,
to
what about
that?
your what about your
We
AC
need a
scores?
score.
What about
We're
your
not-
AC
we're not
scores?
talking
We're
shit.
not doing that.
just
we could
bragged about
all
9 things.
put the
Yeah.
scores on the
What's your-
table.
what was
We
your
need the
math?
full
Be
What was your
picture.
competitive. If you're gonna talk your shit, talk your shit.
All right. And so I haven't gotten back to that, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Okay.
that was it.
Would
Oh,
you
you mean-
describe yourself as like a cool,
No,
fun
like
16-year-old?
literally nothing I said was just cool, right? Like
Were we in the
I
double
listed
check.
taking the
700s, high
SATs and AP classes, you know? But like
Yeah.
in terms of what I was built to do,
Yeah.
like maybe that was it.
Mhm.
And the
You-
rest has just been
You peaked in AP.
probably yeah.
No.
I mean
I don't
AP
think
lit.
that's true, but
thank you
AP
so much.
lit, AP
Oh, yeah.
psych, AP
No AP
history?
psych, they
What was
didn't
your
offer it.
favorite?
Oh. AP music theory, AP French lit, AP chem.
AP French lit.
Yeah,
lit?
yeah,
Translated?
yes, exactly.
Translated?
That's what I'm saying.
I went to public school.
AP French lit.
I took AP Spanish lit. It's a thing that people take.
Yeah.
For real.
And just reading Flaubert
AP
and writing
Calc?
essays about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, in French. Do
God,
I remember
AP
anything?
World
No.
History,
God
Mr.
bless.
Bauer.
Yeah, world history.
Did you
Yeah.
ever cheat in AP French lit and secretly buy the books in English? Because that's what we did in AP Spanish lit.
Wow.
Boy, a lot coming to light here.
Just
then.
outing yourself.
We
Yeah.
wonder why higher education is crumbling now.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to write our essays in Spanish.
Maybe we did with Camus. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I read The Stranger in English.
Yeah, there's
and
like
was
some of
"What's
them
going
you're
on
just
here?"
like,
yeah.
Marquez, I need some help.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you had to write the
Mhm.
thing
Yeah.
in French. I doubt my essay was very good. Blue Books, remember it? It was
Oh, I do
before
remember the
ChatGPT.
blue
I
book.
do remember it,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, children.
Yeah.
Chris, tell us about your APs in 2000.
I was 22, turning 23 in 2000. This is the 2000 AD, but 3 BSF before Sean Fennessey in my
Mhm.
life.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
just
Yeah.
moved to New York
That's
City.
how I mark time too. Adorable.
Really touching.
Before, I moved from Boston to New York in 2000 and was writing about music. And I would describe my relationships to film as an activity rather than a passion this year.
Mhm.
And I think the cinema of the
Mm.
time kind of gave into that kind of behavior because it was like a fun thing to do on a Saturday afternoon before I went out at night, or
Mhm.
like if I had time to kill or whatever, if I was walking by a theater, I was like, oh, I should check that
Whoa,
out.
yeah,
And it was playing, but it wasn't like I was making lists and I'm thinking about it and I'm reading a lot of criticism and I'm trying to figure out like what are the hot movies. It was just kind of like, oh, is this a movie about stealing cars? I'll go watch it, you know?
Right.
And so that was my kind of movie vibe back then. But like, you were still in college? Were you an
Wait, you haven't
avid-
talked about your relationship to females in that year. What was
Yeah.
And also your AP scores,
Oh,
please.
daddy.
Well, no, I was out of college.
I know.
So I was just taking AP tests for fun, really.
Boston into New York. So this was the big strawberry ale era, and this was when you were getting
Yeah.
tatted up.
You were
if
into
if
Pete's.
memory serves.
Boston, I
Mhm.
moved on from strawberry ale now. Those were like the freshman year beers.
I was on
Second-
Newberry Street the other day and I thought of you.
What's that?
I was on Newberry Street
Yeah,
the other
and
day
that's
and
where
I thought
I
of
was
you.
smoking
I know.
for 5
Did you
years.
leave
Yeah.
Boston because of the racism?
Yes. I was like, I
It became
just
too
I don't-
much to bear.
I just can't take this.
And the
legacy.
strawberry ale memories.
Yes,
Yeah.
I moved to New York with a girlfriend at the time, and but she then left and went to London to be an au pair.
Another show.
Wow.
That
Another
is-
show.
What?
Well, that's Emily in Paris, but it's
Emily in Paris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Chris in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Now, what was your girlfriend's
It's like
name?
girls, but it's a guy.
That
What was your au pair girlfriend's name?
I don't want to talk about it.
Smart. She was from Canada, and she was a very nice girl.
did she like leave you with the least?
She was Juliette Binoche.
Liz Hurley? All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
In 2000, I graduated from high school and started my freshman year of college. And we just thought we were so fucking cool that we were graduating high school in the year 2000. And it didn't mean anything, and it is meaningless. But at that time, I was pretty much the same as I am now. Obsessed with movies, kind of straddling the line between tremendous loser and normal person. And trying
Go
to...
ahead.
Were you wearing the Grey Goose vodka hat with the fish hook?
That was
it
in
at this point?
college. That was in college. There's not been talk of that in some time.
It's always on my mind.
Have you ever seen it?
I actually believe I might have emailed Eileen once and asked for a photo, but did not receive one.
Yeah, I did wear a Grey Goose vodka hat with a fish hook on it for many years.
Do you feel
in
like-
A
college?
fish hook?
Yes.
What's
Screw
the
the
fish
Like the
bill.
hook?
actual hook?
Screw the bill.
Yeah, for like a fishing hook.
But
yeah.
Why?
Just sending out a message to the world. Like this is really what I'm about.
Yeah.
Careful,
Okay.
you may become ensnared.
It's my favorite fact about it.
Here's a really important question.
That's
In the
dangerous.
99 draft last
It is.
year,
Great.
we learned
Ooh,
canonically
listen to mine.
that 99 was the year you became the Nuzzler.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
What was this the year of the Nuzzler
Wow.
2?
Also,
More
an
nuzzling?
Amazon
right?
series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's
Eileen and I
I'm sorry. That's on
got
Amazon.
together in '99 and
Mhm.
stayed together,
Yeah.
Aw.
and we are together today.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Special.
Yeah.
So the Nuzzler 2 still nuzzling in
Yeah.
2000.
It was really more like an extended series rather than individuated
franchise.
films. It was kind of my
Mhm.
one lone dip into television. Otherwise, it's been all movies for me.
Got it.
So 2000,
It's your
I
Twin
saw a lot of
Peaks.
movies in 2000, a shit ton of movies. I think 99 also supercharged a native interest, and it was just like, so are we just getting like The Matrix and The Sixth Sense every year? Like, is this what movies are now?
Reader,
Um,
we weren't.
We did not.
Yeah.
We definitely did not.
Isn't actually what happened. So this is a pretty fascinating year, very memorable Academy Awards because of the dominance of, I would say, two figures,
Mm-hmm.
Maximus and Steven Soderbergh.
Yes.
Those to me are
Yeah.
the
My
critical.
Maximus.
Yes.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
is the Steven Soderbergh MVP season.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
As he's working his way through the bench with like Out of Sight, and he's having a fantastic rookie year with Sex Lies and Videotape
Yeah.
and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
This is the MVP season. This is finally when he grabs the thing, I'm the guy.
I have a take that both of these movies are now underrated because they came out in the same year.
I agree.
Definitely.
Even by
Mm.
me, I've made a lot of podcasts about Steven Soderbergh over the years.
Yeah. One, yes.
I think the
Oh,
classics from this
intriguing.
year had like a long period of time. Soderbergh's, and also I would say some of the other more
Mhm.
well-regarded movies from this year had a period of like out in the wilderness, like nobody's really talking about them. They're not being revived at all.
Mm.
And then they've had a nice little run recently. I
Like
think.
what?
I think I've definitely like come to love Traffic, for
Mhm.
instance. Gladiator, I think, got a bump
Mhm.
from the sequel and from just the sequel not being as good as Gladiator.
Mhm.
Bill Simmons single-handedly has kept Castaway in the public
Mhm.
consciousness for the
Mhm.
last 15 years. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Having just recently revisited Castaway
Mm-hmm.
after not caring about it for a very long period of time, Bill was right.
Pretty good
A
movie.
Pretty
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah, it's
movie.
a good
Yeah.
movie.
I don't know if it's the single
Will not
film
be
that I would
selecting
think
Castaway.
dedicate my
Oh.
life to
No?
thinking
No,
about.
no.
No, I wouldn't either. I do.
It says a lot
I
of.
feel
I
like
mean,
I know.
it's a perfect bill.
Do
a lot
you?
of
I
ways.
have a-
Yes.
sense.
I do want to
Okay.
frame this conversation very specifically because my thinking about it dictated some of the category decisions that we made here today.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
the thing that jumped out to me when I put together the list of all the movies that qualify for the box office category is that there are only 2 sequels in the top 22 movies from this year.
Originals.
That is crazy when you look at the history of movies. And obviously, in the last 25 years, we've talked a lot about sequelization franchises. But if you go back to the 80s, there's usually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sequels. So the thing that we always drone on about on the show, which is like make original movies, this was the year. Like they did it. And we have to ask ourselves, is this actually what we want?
Right.
Because in some cases, it doesn't always turn out right because it's a risk to do an original.
Okay, so original storytelling bad actually.
Didn't say
Yes.
that,
Okay,
but
It sounded like you
But
did.
you
it's
implied it.
fodder for discussion.
sure.
And so with that in mind, we have changed a category. I'll go through the 7 categories we'll be drafting from today. So most of the classics: drama, comedy, action, horror, thriller, Oscar nominee. That means any movie that was nominated for an Oscar released in this year. And then in lieu of sequel, we will do original. So that means we will pick an original
Interesting.
movie not based on any IP whatsoever because there are so many options to choose from. Now we can have a little bit of a spirited debate about what qualifies and what does not in a moment. And then wildcard is our last category. No, excuse me, blockbuster, $100 million threshold, and then wildcard.
Mhm.
So 7 categories, 7 drafters,
49 films.
49 films. This is a lot. We
Jeez.
got to be succinct in our picks.
Yeah.
The original question.
Mhm.
Now I got a late text message and a post 10 p.m. text message from Mallory Rubin
From who?
last
Oh,
night.
okay.
Yeah.
And she-
From who?
Yeah.
Of course.
From trying to find
Could've
you a
been
good
anyone.
I- it-
Who would dare
Yeah.
violate the
Never
boundaries
anyone.
of
Who could
work
do
and
this?
personal
Incredible
life?
It was
question.
former President Barack Obama, and
Yeah.
he said, "I heard the 2000 draft is coming. I'll have you know, I was a junior senator from Illinois at that time. Was he a junior? He wasn't a junior.
He
senator.
wasn't
He's
yet.
not.
yet.
Wow, what was he doing? Was he
He was in.
Like,
he was still a
a
congressman.
local government?
yeah.
State. He was a state senator.
senator.
Yeah.
He's just watching NC tape. Yeah.
So Mal texted me, and I won't say the title of the film, but it is a film that is based on true events but fictionalized. And she said, does this movie qualify for original?
Mhm.
And I don't have a strong feeling. I think it's
Right.
worth
And I say it
discussing.
does.
I was following up on what I realized some 8 to 12 hours later in the day was a note from you that I had not absorbed or understood in full, which was like real life figures count as in this exercise IP.
Yeah.
That would make a movie not an original movie. So if it is a historical adaptation, if it is based on a book, if it is based on a play, if it is based on an older version of the movie, we're saying that it being based on real figures is the same as being an adaptation of a book,
Yes.
which to me is
Hidden
ludicrous.
I agree.
That's
and
insane.
Absolutely absurd. And makes the category almost impossible. But it's your draft.
Is it?
Jesus.
Let's be legal about it.
God.
Is something being optional? Is like if it's a book, if it's a biography,
Right.
if it's I don't want to give anything away, but a piece of journalism,
Mallory got
Mhm.
busy.
you know,
Memoir.
then that is IP. If it's just, you know,
And-
life rights,
Right. And what if the figures are
if it's public domain,
inspired
You
by,
guys-
but it's not a direct one-to-one based on this person's life?
You guys
Is there
are
more room?
legitimately making Sean uncomfortable right now.
No, I think
Yeah.
I think we should. I
I'm
think we
thinking
should do
about
the.
it.
I think he
pornography
wants
rule.
to be
I think we'll know
pushed.
it when we see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people,
I'm fine with that.
make the pick, try to pick it in that category if you want, and then the group can say no,
Yes.
and you adjust.
Yeah.
on the
I think
fly.
that's right.
Original.
I made a list of potential originals and came up with quite a few.
It's a lot.
I think there's a lot here that even if you remove the docudrama element, there's a rich tapestry of picks to choose from. Now, are they exactly the movies that you want on your draft board? Probably not. It's going to be hard to get all the movies you want with 7 drafters and 7 categories.
Oh yeah.
We just went through this with Tom Cruise. You know, some not so great movies were drafted.
some absolutely brutal
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
I had to
And
take Interview with the Vampire.
I
you
would have
did-
taken
it was
it,
actually-
but
You had the honor to.
yeah.
it was
That
o-
movie sucks.
it was
No.
only that was only
The
funny
movie-
because
the,
you
the show
talked about
has
how you didn't want
the
it.
show. We gotta talk. We gotta do the Interview with the Vampire. The show
We
has-
talked about this last time
has-
we
has
podcast about the show.
just riddled and degraded the movie to me. I can't do the movie anymore. The show.
the
is so
movie's
much
not nearly
better.
as good as the show, but it's still
Yeah. I don't
okay.
know.
Okay. Before we draft, we need to set the draft order.
Mm.
For the very last
B.
time,
Wags.
Bobby Wagner will
Oh
be
my
helping
God.
us set the draft order.
Bobby!
Hell yeah,
Yay, the Top Gun
Bob.
hat.
Bob, do you want to weigh in on this original debate?
Nope.
Okay.
Not my job anymore. You guys figure that out over there. I'm just here to set the order.
We'll get to it.
Selecting first overall will be Mallory Rubin.
no.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't want that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Stuff.
Nobody ever wants where I pick them. Like, what do you
Well-
guys? You get first, you get last.
It's
Everyone's
such a
mad
long
all the
wait to
time.
second pick in the draft
This was
this
the
year.
burden that you
God
carried
damn
for
it.
many years.
Yeah, now it's not my responsibility anymore. Second overall, Rob Mahoney.
Mm.
This is a lot of tiles to pick out without Sean even vamping.
Shall I
Sean
vamp?
third?
Sean.
Sean third.
Third.
Wait, who
Okay.
was second? Sorry,
Rob.
Rob.
Third.
Rob.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rob.
So you have like a hierarchy of picks. You're like, this is my
Yeah,
personal
I've talked
relationship.
about this before. I go through the list of films released in the year. I write down everyone that I know I saw.
You're
Uh-huh.
fourth, Sierra.
Fourth is Chris.
Chris.
And then
Damn.
I do like basically a power ranking of them.
Okay.
But then I put them into their
Part of the
appropriate genre categories or their appropriate
I
categories.
see.
Yeah.
And you order them by preference.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I at the moment when we walk in, here,
Joanna
I'm like, oh,
fifth?
shit, I need
Oh,
to do-
Joanna's 5.
How
Thank
did you
you.
do it with Seabiscuit since you haven't seen the film?
That was more about my relationship to horses in general,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
bet.
and World War II
Sure.
bond raising.
Yeah,
You know,
he was not racing during World War II.
Van
Van
is going
Excited him.
sixth, which
I
makes
have the
Amanda
turn.
seventh. Yes.
You have the turn.
I have the
sixth?
turn.
6, yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
Fifth?
Fifth.
Second. First.
I did not want the first pick in this
Yeah.
draft.
Well,
I gotta
Mallory,
say.
you have
You're on
the
the
honors.
clock.
Bobby, we
thank
love you.
Bobby,
Thank
great
you.
job.
Yes.
You did it, bud. Thank you very much, Bob. Farewell to
Pour
Top
it out
Gun.
for the Top Gun hat. Good luck, everyone.
Oh,
Thank
you,
Bobby.
Wags. Let's go Mets.
Mm.
Let's
The
go,
Orioles are in
Mal. Is
last
more
place,
appropriate.
so-
It's your
Okay.
turn.
I saw them lose recently.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
You got to see Dobbins pitch.
I
though.
did.
Dob
Yeah,
up and
Dobbins
Dob up
start
for the
and
other
then
team.
walk off in the 10th for the Sox.
Yeah, not for the Orioles.
Wasn't there a
to be
nor'easter?
clear.
Yeah,
you
I
there?
sat through it in the first inning, but we made it.
All right. I didn't want the number 1 pick because in a draft this size, it's just so long to wait for the second pick, and I think that's going to be a challenge for
So
me.
take your time up now. Yeah.
But, and I kind of like knew what I wanted to do in the 2 through 7 range, but I do feel like I know what I want to pick, and I'm curious to see if you guys agree and think there was a consensus, or if this could have gone a number of different ways. I will be selecting something that has been on all of our minds recently because of a sequel that was not as good and made us appreciate this film more. What we do in movie drafts echoes in eternity. I will be taking Gladiator, which I think is the closest in Oscar nominee.
Interesting.
I will be taking Gladiator and Oscar nominee.
Interesting.
I think this is the closest to like, yeah, this might have been number 1 on most people's boards, but I won't be surprised if that's not the case.
You know, it was, and then I feel like Sean did a whisper campaign about how Gladiator's not that good. Did he? Did you? Have you?
Did I do a whisper campaign?
Have you been kind of like, this movie's not actually
I feel
one
like
of
we
my
all
movies?
saw the second one and thought, you know what? That first one was even better than we realized.
Well, I think both things
Great
can
movie.
be true. I think it can be not my favorite Ridley Scott movie, and I can also acknowledge that it has greatness in it. It's just not.
It's interesting because like Gladiator is an original movie, but I think there's a through line with the original movies that we have in this year is that they're all super familiar concepts. You got your sword and sandal movie, you got your big time comedy where you're actually meeting. There's all things you can glom onto. So Gladiator feels like a movie that you've seen before. And like it takes you a while to realize that you're watching something that has it's historical figures and it's the whole 9. That's like a throwback Spartacus type film. So people knew what to expect when they went.
It also does
down.
feature real life figures.
Marcus
Marcus
Aurelius.
Aurelius of the world. And then also the inspiration for that movie is based on a book about Colosseum fighting, but then nothing is really taken from that book other than the idea of Colosseum fighting being the platform, the stage for the movie. So if it were to go into the original conversation, I think that would have been the most interesting debate that we could have had.
Is that what you were asking about?
It actually wasn't the one I texted him about, but it was the thing we had discussed during the day yesterday that then I was reflecting on later, and I was like, wait, now I have a question about another movie. I feel good about this pick. This is a solid movie to have on my board.
It's a great pick. I think it's the consensus one.
On the gladiatorial front. Every time I watch this movie, I want more time in the minors. Like Gladiator AAA is my favorite part.
Right. The training
sequences
would have been good.
Yeah. Like you got to prove you can do it in Rochester before you get to Rome. And I feel like we fast forward through that stuff way too fast.
I have a Stars show for you called Spartacus.
And guess what? Guess what? I loved every second of Spartacus. A lot of dicks in that show.
Spartacus,
a lot of dicks
blood and
in that
sand.
show.
A lot of dicks.
So we've
Yes, a lot of dicks.
Gladiator 2 had the same problem. Where it was like Paul Mescal was a warrior and then a slave and then he won one fight and they were like you are now entering the Roman Colosseum.
But he had familial kind of claim to the to the
chair. He was really bad at speeches. He had a lot going for him.
Gladiator 2 is fucking unwatchable.
First Gladiator
I didn't
rules.
think
though.
it was unwatchable.
I watched it. I tried to watch it again.
I watched it.
Gladiator 2 sucks.
What about? I thought Denzel was very entertaining.
I thought Denzel was great. And I thought the syphilitic emperors were great.
I saw it at 10 a.m. by myself.
The monkey, wonderful.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "Hey, this is kind of cool." The second time I watched it, it's a fucking mess.
I've only seen it once, so maybe I don't ever have to answer that question. All right, Rob Mahoney has the number 2 pick.
I feel like this is pretty easy. I'm going to take Almost Famous.
Yeah, that was the other one I considered at 1.
That would have been my number 1.
It's really tough.
It's
really tough.
Pretty undeniable.
I didn't think I could
why
do it
I
to Joe,
thought that
to
was
be
going to
honest.
fall.
Yeah, Mallory cannot betray me.
Hell.
I kind of figured it would go at 1, so I'm thrilled to have it at 2. Watching it at the time, I'm very much like goner for Penny Lane watching this movie.
Sure.
Now I watch it and I
Goner
realize...
or Gooner?
No comment. Now I watch it and I'm like really identifying with Frances McDormand. So we have crested into a different stage of life.
Yeah,
Like
I'm feeling that deeply.
She's making a lot of great points. Maybe not like full on record confiscation points, but other than that, incredibly charming, undeniable movie. It's so hard not to get swept away in it. It's a classic. I'm gonna pull up this one scene and I end up watching the back. I don't know, hour and a half of this movie.
It's the best. What category?
I'm going to take it. So can I make the argument for comedy? Is Almost Famous enough of a dramedy to be a comedy?
I think so.
That That feels like too
I think
much
it's. I think it's
hesitation.
in. I bet
sure.
in Wikipedia it describes it as a romantic comedy.
I find that
Drama.
fascinating because I feel like
Yeah.
this is actually a great
No.
year for comedy. So I'll allow it just in that very specific respect.
This was what I texted Sean about last night at 11 p.m. By the way,
Yeah.
Yes,
In terms
Almost
of
Famous
originality.
was the question as
Oh,
to
this,
would this
okay.
be considered, because neither William Miller nor the band he is profiling are real people.
but
But
it is
like,
inspired
Led Zeppelin
by
exists in
Stillwater's
this
real
world.
to me. You know
Inspired.
what I mean?
You know,
Quite
Ben
agree.
Fong Torres is here.
Ben Fong Torres, of course,
Mhm.
Lester Bangs, of
Lester
course.
Bangs, of
Like
course,
we've got
yeah.
real people, but by changing, what was it? Was it the Eagles or the Doobie Brothers? What was the band that he was sort of like loosely basing his
It was
experiences
the
of
Doobie
Cameron
Brothers.
Crowe? The Doobie
Yeah.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers.
So I was like obsessed with music magazines when this movie came out, and my life's goal was to work at a music magazine when this movie came out. And I was obviously already a huge fan of Cameron Crowe. Folks have heard me talk about Jerry Maguire many times on the show. I was like, is this really happening when this movie came
Yeah.
out? Like, I was electrified by this movie
Yeah.
and didn't maybe totally even understand what Cameron Crowe's life was, and the fact that he was like, yeah, I'm 16, I'm on the road with a band. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I find it still has the magic.
That's how I feel
really
like the
it's a
upcoming
fantastic
HBO show
film.
Task. Like, is this really happening?
Mark Ruffalo for me.
This is like you guys can weigh in on this too, please. If they didn't score that to Guns N' Roses' Patience, would that be a good trailer?
But they did.
It's a good
But they
trailer.
did, yeah.
They did. You know what I mean?
Because Guns N' Roses' Patience, like, that's over here. That's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
You can't
but
get
that's
better.
taste.
That is
that's
music.
aesthetics. That's like
Yeah.
this is what we're going for.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's on the
All right.
mood board.
It's
Yeah.
interesting
Okay.
that you're holding your arm up to say that's over here because it does allow me to say that Joanna Robinson, who's with us today, has an Almost Famous tattoo
Yes.
on her wrist, and yet Rob Mahoney took this movie before she could.
Yeah, you know what? I
not
think
a thing that I did to her.
I think that
At the
we
top.
have learned over time that Rob
I made
Mahoney takes no prisoners.
It's
I made my
true.
peace. I made my peace with this. I
Yeah,
was like,
it
if I'm
wasn't gonna
not
get to
a
five.
number 1
Yeah.
or 2 drafter, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that
Yeah.
changed
Those-
my life.
yeah.
It's the reason I got into journalism. It's a perfect movie.
Well, you know, we said
But I
that,
support
Rob.
you in all
Fuck
your
you.
endeavors.
All right. Well, I'm in the complicated position of number 3.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to take a blockbuster.
Go for it.
And I think I'm going to take one of the most exciting blockbusters of this year. And the fact that it was a blockbuster is a remarkable thing that happened. Taking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ang
Good
Lee
one.
masterpiece. This movie, it's hard to
Great pick.
communicate what a phenomenon this movie was.
Yeah.
Released by Sony Pictures Classics by a filmmaker who never made action cinema like this. Who really did not indicate that this was like, I guess, Pushing Hands, maybe one of his first movies, showed that he had an interest in martial arts. But extraordinary movie. Michelle Yeoh, I think for many people, the first time they saw her, and now we have a huge relationship with her in the last 10 years of movies. Just a gorgeous wuxia film. I think Wen Peng, who did the choreography for The Matrix, also worked on this movie. And so you had that like incredible wire work. And this movie made like $130 million.
You could make an argument at number 1. To me,
Absolutely.
you can make an argument at number 1. It was a phenomenon. It was like everybody was talking about the martial arts, but then also when you saw the movie, you got swept up in this beautiful story. It's a
see.
gorgeous, beautiful story. It's a great movie.
Glasses.
Yeah.
I can't see the screen.
You see the sequel to this movie,
I didn't.
Crouching Tiger 2?
I didn't. When did that come out?
2016, something like that.
Haven't seen the sequel. Popped in the 4K of this puppy over the weekend. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
This was a movie that had maybe the highest approval rating of people coming out of the theater in this year. When I just anecdotally, like, I remember seeing
Is
it
that true,
walking
Joanna?
out.
As a theater.
Were you
Church
also?
of Joe's.
Was
I mean,
Joe
Joe
watching it?
vomiting. I'll
Joe,
tell you that.
Joe
Cool.
festooned in
Yeah.
puke. It's like, did you like it? Yeah.
Okay, number 4.
That's me.
By the way, Crouching Tiger would have applied to like 6 of these categories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which category did you take it in?
I took it in blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Blockbuster kind of a weird.
You know what I'm going to do?
category.
I'm going to do something a little funny here.
Okay,
In
okay,
original, I'm
CR.
going to do You Can Count on Me.
Wow.
that's a great
so
pick.
good.
That's a great
Wow.
Just because you're thinking about Mark Ruffalo always.
I am always thinking about Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Kenneth Lonergan's directorial debut.
So good.
Really, like the first time I had ever really seen Ruffalo. I think this is his first big role, and probably like Laura Linney's breakout. I would say one of the most amazing portraits of family love that I've ever seen, and what happens to families over the course of their lives as their parents get older and as like everything happens, and is tender and funny and heartbreaking and is probably the movie that I like take with me the most from this year.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know, with all the legalese surrounding original films this year, I thought I'd grab one.
Smart.
And I'm also happy to walk away with it. So that's good.
That's a good
It's a
one.
really good one.
Perfect movie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a
Good pick.
rare, if memory serves, 4.5 stars for the Sean Fennessey letterbox.
Did I give it 4.5 stars?
I think you
Don't
did.
don't be doing this. Don't give
He
his
sent us the letterbox list,
Yeah.
and there are a number of 4 stars, but I only saw one 4.5.
One of the greatest last scenes in a film, too.
I don't know.
It's really great.
He knows. He's
Yeah.
pretending.
I think
Incredible cello score.
it does. It's a very good movie if you have a sibling. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If you've ever
Well, I
had a
don't have a
complicated
Chris doesn't.
relationship,
Yeah.
with
Still
siblings.
like it.
Yeah. And no offense to all the onlys, but this movie gets something very right about having siblings.
It's fine.
This
I
is-
have an only in my family, so I
Uh-huh.
no shots to the onlys.
This is my movie. I was dumb enough to think was going to be there in like round 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I-
So I'm
There's a-
heartbroken that you took it,
Wow.
but
There's a
obviously
lot of
you
stuff in
have
a
to.
lot of other categories, and I'm like a little
You
freaked
gotta do
out
what you
by
want.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Same. In case you
Okay.
can't tell.
Is it now?
It's Joanna.
Joe.
We've got Jack made a helpful
Oh yes,
little
thank you, Jack.
rubric.
Joanna. That'll be very helpful to look at. Okay, Joe.
I think you're right that we have to like dig into original while we have it.
Ah, shit.
Fuck.
I kind of feel like I'm going to throw up right now.
I don't
Just say it.
Wow. Well, I'm inspired by Chris. Since my number one is off the board, I'm kind of spiraling. So I will just go with my heart and I'll say, actually, one of the most important movies to me also in this year is Billy Elliot.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome pick.
All right.
Great
I'm
pick.
deleting it, but
Yeah.
I don't have to throw up.
Yeah,
This was my prediction.
Of course, then turned into a stage musical, which gave us Tom Holland, among other things in our lives. But I have watched this movie 1 million times. Incredible young Jamie Bell performance.
Wonderful.
Great movie if you've got dad issues. Great movie if you have anger and frustration and use art to get through it. Great movie if you love regional dialects in the UK. And this is one of those, the soundtracks that had snippets of dialogue on the CD or on the tape, like little scenelets, and then you listen to that soundtrack so many times, you have all of those little moments of dialogue, like in Pulp Fiction, memorized. This is true of the Billy Elliot soundtrack for me. I listened to it's got all these great T-Rex tracks and then all these great scenes from Billy Elliot, and I cry every time I watch this movie.
Joe, you're taking
Aw.
this in
Love
original.
this.
Yes.
What is the verdict on this is based on his own play that then he adapts into the
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
but then
I
he
didn't have this
readapts into a
original.
different play?
Rob, did you take Almost Famous from me and now you're trying to
take away Billy
No,
Elliot? 'cause
take
it's
Billy Elliot?
I would
from
love
me?
nothing
I think
more
that
than
we
to
could
give you
create
Billy
a
Elliot, if I'm
loophole
being
that if
honest.
the person adapting all this stuff
Same
is the same
person.
guy.
Yeah,
Wait.
It's
same
original.
idea.
It's original.
The Whiplash theorem.
But if it's based on their own life, it's not original?
I didn't say
It
that.
Well, I think that we're still
He said that.
negotiating.
Oh, well, we can still negotiate that.
Okay. All right. Feels
You
like
guys
we're
are
leading
much
toward
I-
allowing.
That
it.
was a very beautiful tribute.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
beautiful, but if it is a
very
I'm
play,
slightly concerned that
Yeah.
from a rules perspective,
it does have
that
to
would be-
go.
You can take it in a different category.
Yeah.
what I actually so I don't know enough about this.
I'm on Joe's side.
What
whatever.
re-explain what
Whatever
transpired
happens.
here?
So Lee Hall
Again,
wrote-
you'll have to make like several hundred hours of
so
podcasts with
for your
Joanna
He's
for the next 12
nicest
months.
guy, and he's a fucking
He's
assassin.
an animal.
You're a
You guys,
fucking animal.
he's not nice.
Awful.
Every
Okay,
time you
that's
get to the
rude.
core of who Rob is, he's a sociopath.
I'm calling HR. Lee Hall wrote a play called Dancer.
Mhm.
That play gets adapted into the movie Billy Elliot.
Mhm.
That gets adapted
Hold on.
into the play Billy
It
Elliot.
premiered as a rehearsed reading in 1998 at the Live Theater. So it wasn't even a full production.
Leave Joe alone.
I think that's
I don't like this.
if this hasn't been staged, then I think that is a loophole.
Okay.
If
Thanks,
this-
Amanda.
Rehearsed reading. I mean, I'm
Not
just
Bob
reading
really
box
came through.
office,
Really
but I
came
agree.
through for me.
So if you're a person
In
out
Newcastle
there watching
upon Tyne, also. So you
Rob
know,
is
like
fucking-
not
who has a
the West
ticket
End.
stub to Billy Elliot, then
No
Joe's
offense
draft
to
is
Newcastle.
invalidated.
This is really dicey territory because like every movie is kind of based on an idea that someone had at any given time that then went into a series of development. These are the pitfalls of this category.
Mhm.
I'll make an allowance for Billy Elliot.
Sure.
Oh wow.
That's really big of you.
How does
We
that
win.
sound?
yeah,
I'm Team Joe
so
here.
so generous. Thank you.
Well, you gotta talk to him.
I mean, there are plenty of rehearsed readings for all sorts of original
Yeah, they
Yes.
reversed
you
Red
know?
Hateful Eight. You know,
They certainly did.
Mm.
That was also
Wait,
an
so
original.
you thought I would do Almost Famous first, Billy Elliot second? Mallory knows my heart. It's
Yeah.
really sweet.
That's
I
beautiful.
had a theory because I just the love of the musical
Yeah.
and the dance. The art
Knowing
of dance.
The end when he's
Something
in Matthew Bourne's Swan Lake and his dad cries and gasps when
Oh,
he
yeah.
makes
It's
the
good.
leap.
Forgot about
It's
that.
good.
Oh my god.
Okay, Van, you're up.
All right, so for my first pick, it's going to be symbolic because I know I'm going to get the movie that I want after Amanda's 2 picks because it's coming right back to me.
Interesting.
So I'm going to pick Bamboozled in
Yeah.
original.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, originals. There's a run.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to pick Bamboozled in original. It is the single movie that I watched the most this year. Blown away at Spike's audacity. And I think it was partly the audacity of the movie that makes it one of Spike's lesser lauded films. Because as far as him just writing a movie that, has the same ending issue that many Spike Lee movies have, right? Where he kind of drifts into the supernatural / absurdist / whatever. And people go, whatever, you're throwing the basketball and then having the guy catch it at the end, having Shuttlesworth catch it at the end if he got game, or the wake up from the end of School Days where people are like, it's more of an allegorical ending. This one kind of has the same thing. But what a kick in the nuts if you are a 20-year-old Black man and you are wanting to endeavor into a career in entertainment. When you watch this movie, it completely reorients the way you look at yourself and the way you look at that entire industry. Just like a sublime, absurdist tragedy. Love the film.
Your favorite character was Michael Rappaport.
Yeah. But that was sort of peak Rappaport for me.
More ways than one.
The corporate PR satire stuff in this movie is like way too fucking applicable. Like the playbook of just like name check Martin Luther King, say the word community a lot, wear the kente cloth. It's like, oh Lord.
He literally tries to do the one idea that he thinks is too far that will surely get him fired, and it's the one that makes him into who he was. It was just, I still watch, it's fantastic to me.
The one thing about this movie that was at the time kind of revolutionary and now is interesting to look back on is that it looks like it was shot with a potato.
Right.
And because it's that early DV that you get like with the 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of movies that were shot with this really early DV
Is that
style.
like Oliver Stone U-Turn? Did he do that kind of like? There's like parts of it that feel that way, or maybe even
just
more
different
like,
film stocks. Yeah.
But
Which
it's
actually
only-
just makes it feel like surveillance footage.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
like
it
a
being a lot of
documentary, yeah.
handheld. And so you're like in those boardrooms where Damon Wayans is explaining his ideas and you're like, is this like a Candid Camera episode or something? That feeling of disorientation. It works really great for this movie.
Fantastic Tommy Davidson performance as well.
Yeah.
Like, I love the movie.
Okay, great pick. We're down to Amanda at the turn.
We cheer and we lead.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
act like we're on
Dobbins!
team. You hate us because we're beautiful,
yeah.
but we don't like you either. We're cheerleaders. Yeah, cheerleaders. Okay, I went to sleep last night and
Hell yeah.
praying that I would get the turn so that I could do a Kiki doubleheader.
Man.
Obviously.
Everyone is really
Obviously,
being
number
themselves
one
so
pick.
far.
Thank you so much, everyone. Number one pick in drama will be The Virgin Suicides.
Okay.
Sofia Coppola's directorial debut, which premiered at Cannes in 1999, but it was not eligible for the 1999 draft, as I made Rob Mahoney very aware of.
Yeah.
Because it did not premiere in the US until April 2000. This is an absolutely beautiful movie about being a teenager and not understanding things and like deep sadness and the power of Josh Hartnett 25 years ago, which remains today. I didn't get to
agree.
go to, I mean, listen,
I have
come
some
on.
wig questions, but otherwise, yes.
What the-
Trip Fontaine?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Oh, come on. First of all, when he's like walking down the
Powerful.
the hallway to Magic Man, and then obviously with the heart and she jumps into the car and they start making out.
It's an amazing
That is
scene.
some powerful stuff. I didn't get to go to the Academy screening with Kiki and Sophia, which like was okay with me. I don't know if I want to be that close to greatness, but I did think Kiki looked great. Anyway, that's drama. Comedy.
Yeah.
Bring It On, which like I was a little nervous that Joanna was going to take Bring It On for me at some point. This is, I turned 16 in 2000. One of the great teen comedies.
Yeah.
An incredible Kirsten Dunst performance. Great Gabrielle Union. Gave us Spirit Fingers. Gave us, one of the great movie openings of all time, which I do have memorized in full. I just gave you guys a snippet there. You're
The floor
welcome.
is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the floor is yours. Continue.
For the
Did
moves
you
as
also
well.
take an AP class on the film Bring It On?
No, but do you
She
know
can teach
actually
one.
that like at a pep rally at my high school, the actual cheerleaders did perform
Were you not a
that
cheerleader?
opening?
Of
I was not a
course.
cheerleader, no.
Mm.
No, I was on cross country.
Were you a
and
cultural appropriator? Though?
Yeah, no, also
Good
not
question.
that.
Okay.
Though I did live in Atlanta, so you know. A really, really funny, like smart teen movie. Great. I prefer this to Ant-Man, thanks to all of you. And I feel great about getting it.
It's bonkers to me that Bring It On was not a blockbuster. Because speaking of movies that like did numbers on the sleepover circuit, I don't understand how this
Yeah.
wasn't a bigger theater hit.
Were you bumping Bring It On?
Yeah,
at
was this a
sleepovers?
big one?
Oh,
for you?
Not my
yes.
sleepover, but like
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie was everywhere.
Absolutely.
You could not
In
avoid
Rice-
it.
It was kind of an
Maryland?
instant cult
It was-
classic when it left
yeah,
theaters.
it was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now a queer classic.
Now a queer
Now a
classic
queer
as well.
classic.
Okay, Van, we're back to you.
It's the only time I'm torn.
Oh.
I feel like
thought it
I
was
know
good.
something.
I thought
that
you were
really
like,
want.
I'm
knew
gonna
what you
get
wanted to
this.
do.
I know.
in turn.
But now I'm thinking about another movie that I would really love to have, but I'm gonna go with my first heart. I'm taking Traffic off the board, and I'll
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Come on now.
Interesting.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
isn't what I
category?
thought you were gonna do.
No,
movie.
because there's another film that I want, but I got to take Traffic off the board
For what
because
Which
category?
Oscar.
Yeah.
Taking an Oscar.
Yeah, you are.
Taking an Oscar.
Yep.
Baton Rouge. The only time I'm gonna get to draft Baton Rouge is this Steven Soderbergh, Baton Rouge. But more so like, you know, I love the movie from the moment that I saw it. Ensemble cast. It seemed like a very important film to watch at that time, that it was saying something really important and turning you on to something that you kind of didn't realize was going on. So first time I was really thought of drug cartels as being Mexican and not like Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the movie was saying something and like diving deep into a world and took me in the middle of the world that made me uncomfortable. Particularly the Amanda Seyfried, like all of that stuff. Like
Erica Christensen.
Yeah.
Erica
Yeah.
Christensen. I
Put
always
some
get
respect
them-
on Swim Fan.
Look, two blonde from the same. I always give them.
Don't you hate that though? Like when you're promoted to drug czar and then Topher Grace gets your daughter hooked on crack.
And then Topher
Yeah.
Grace has the temerity to be like, whoa, back up, man.
Yeah.
Back up.
What would it be like if 100 black guys went into a white neighborhood asking for drugs?
I felt them. But but even that portrayal, like I'm telling you, even
This was
like,
mind blowing if you were watching that 70s show, by the way, that he
Oh,
showed up
oh,
in
yeah.
this form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
This
Slime
and-
ball.
and
Totally.
Ocean.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, I'd
Yeah.
like to take a hit. Here's what I'd like to try. Let's have sex and take a hit when we both come.
yeah,
How did I know you were going to
Incredible scene in
quote
movie
that
history.
directly while looking me
So-
in the eyes on this podcast?
the way this movie got sold to me, because the way this movie got sold to me is like one of my homeboys was like, "Hey, yo, Chris Rock has been beaten," and I was like, "What?" It's like he's not the number one crackhead no more. When you see the white girl in traffic, that's the number one crackhead ever, and I had to go see the number one crackhead.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Like, and so
To
I went
verify it.
went and saw the movie. Fantastic. A movie that holds up is as good today as it was then.
Let's just shout out a couple of things in this. Cliff Martinez score, he blacked out. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
just gorgeous. The fact that Soderbergh's running Michael Douglas up and down these streets with like a handheld camera.
Yeah.
Clifton Collins is incredible in this. Benicio, obviously amazing.
Don
Yeah.
Cheadle.
Cheadle's amazing
Have
in
you seen
this.
Phoenician Scheme yet?
And this is my favorite Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, Catherine Zeta
Yeah.
Jones
I have
is
not
so
seen
good in this.
The peak of her career.
Well, that's disrespectful to
Big year.
Ocean's 11. Benicio's amazing and
So
Phoenician Scheme.
Phoenician's
when
good.
this movie came out, I had the same reaction as you. I was like, this movie is important. And I had that classic like Reddit conspiracy brain of like, it is all connected. The drug, it goes all the way to the top and then all the way down to, when you're 16 and you're like, this has revealed
Wow.
something really profound. And then, for the intervening 10 or 15 years, I was like, this movie's like a little overrated and it feels very schematic and I can feel the screenplay when I'm watching
Your
it.
man Gagan.
And then I would watch it again a few years ago and I was like, actually, no, he's right. Everything is all connected. The performances in this movie are incredible. Like this is some of the best acting I think Soderbergh's ever gotten. So
Yeah.
great pick. Tough for CR.
Tough for CR.
Yeah. that's
Joanna.
rough.
Mallory,
tough
do you know
for
what I'm
Sierra?
picking next?
I actually have a theory. I'll be honest about whether I'm right after you make the pick.
Okay, so for a long time, I would walk around talking about my top 5.
I knew it! This was my prediction for your draft, is that it would be very musically inclined.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of great music movies.
What am I picking?
You're picking High Fidelity.
Oh, I'm not picking High
Oh.
Fidelity.
Oh!
What a
Wow.
big switch with the top
Wow.
five.
I know, I know.
But
Wow.
top 5, I do
Way to
understand.
throw
how
it
you
out
actually
there.
jumped there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
I
somebody
understand.
else is
I
going to
get
grab
it.
it.
I
By the way,
understand.
that was the other movie. It was between Traffic and High Fidelity.
Okay.
I'm shocked that that's not what you're picking. Okay. What other top 5?
I would talk about my top 5 favorite movies of all time. 2 of them were from the year 2000, Almost Famous, and this other one that I'm going to say. Another one was from 2001, and then it was a rotating other 2. And this I don't know if it's just because like I was working in a movie theater or whatever. Anyway, point being,
Requiem for a Dream.
it's Oh Brother,
Oh,
Where Art
brother.
Thou?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
It's one of my dad's favorite movies.
I'm taking an Oscar. And
Great fucking pick.
I love this movie with my whole entire heart. I think this is my favorite George Clooney. This is where I was introduced to one of my favorite people, Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah.
Nelson, yeah.
This is an incredible Coen Brothers joint. We're basing it off a myth.
Yeah.
We're changing everyone's relationship with bluegrass music.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like $1 million. And I love this movie.
I did know that this was a favorite of yours. It is also a favorite of Barry Rubin's My Beloved Father. You guys have a lot in common,
Yeah.
as we frequently discuss.
Yeah, Barry and I are one of them.
It does still fit the Joe is going to pick movies with songs in them.
Yeah, it's a
theme.
musical.
So,
yeah.
great pick. Love it.
You're really
You look
the
perplexed,
laptop
Sean.
thing has
Well,
psyched you out.
because I had a vision of how this round was going to go,
Yeah.
and Van and Joe completely chopped it.
Because
out.
you thought you were
So
going to be able
I'm
to
like,
pick those
Well, I
two
know, but
movies.
I'm like the
Yeah.
knight in Monty
I know,
Python.
everyone-
now.
That's
And-
how I feel when you. This is how I feel every time I draft with you, CR. Because you pick, you can count on me, and I was like, no one's gonna pick that.
yeah.
I got
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
and then CR's like,
I
number
thought I was
one.
going to get Oh Brother in this round, so I'm going to do a little bit of, and I was just making sure that I was right about something, which is that
Shit.
yeah,
Perfect Storm was nominated for some Oscars.
thank God. Thank God.
And
that this
it
is,
should
I
have been
know!
nominated.
I did not even put it on my list because if anyone but you
Because
got
of
it, I was
Bobby?
happy. Yes, do it. Come on.
I feel like I've lost touch with the actual monologue where
Okay.
it's just about it's Diane Lane's letter to Mark Wahlberg as he gets killed.
Yeah.
By the
so-
gigantic wave at the
by a
end.
gigantic
Yeah.
wave where she's like, Bobby, you and me, a fresh start, 2 curtains up in this little apartment. You know, and like
Really
I
strong,
can
Really
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 strong
see
stuff. Yeah.
the denim cutoff shorts
Yeah.
as you were saying that.
this movie rocks.
really
Clooney, Wahlberg, what?
Wait, you're picking this as your
Valentine.
Oscar nominee, you said?
Yeah,
doing-
sound editing.
Like Diane Lane is probably your deepest bag. That's like
Oh.
that is.
I mean,
the
Nothing
thing.
but
Tough to
respect
argue.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
What a
she's
bag
up
it
in the
is.
crow's nest, just crushing PBRs and Narragansett.
She is.
Your
She
dream.
is.
Really
your
powerful.
dream.
I don't think Narragansett was around the beer at that time.
Was it?
I don't think so.
Narragansett wasn't like. Don't they drink that in Jaws?
I don't think so, but maybe they do.
I actually think that they probably do.
Narragansett.
You
beer.
think Diane
I
Lane
don't
is
think
as
they just
deep
like
as
invented Narragansett beer in like 2003.
You think it's like a
You're right, it
fake
was founded in
Budweiser?
1890 in Cranston, Rhode Island.
So
you think Diane Lane's his deepest bag and not the sea?
As it
Yeah.
was.
Well,
I think
I
his
mean,
life is
well,
love his
that's-
lady
these
might be
two
the
things
sea.
came
I'm
together.
both here.
It was
They're
also
both here.
nominated for best visual effects.
Yeah, so double Oscar nominee,
There you
and
go.
honestly, in terms of my heart, it could have.
I've never understood this movie.
Why not?
It is such a fucking bummer. Like a ridiculous bummer of all bummers. When I seen this, I did not know that they were gonna die.
Yeah,
And then I gotta watch his dumbass be in the water at the end of the movie. I'm like, so I'm wondering like what's gonna happen, right? His stupid ass is floating around in the water at the end of the movie,
yeah.
doing the whole thing. I'm like, oh, so they fucking drowned? They
Yeah.
died?
Yeah.
And I still can't make my peace with it. Like, why? Like, what was the point of me
Fishing.
watching?
They had to
stuff?
get the good tuna
I
out there
get-
in the,
okay,
in the
yeah,
cold
I
waters.
get it. I watched it. I've tried. They had a black guy with him.
Yeah.
This nigga got fucked over for no reason. Like, you guys can laugh at that. It's okay.
They all signed
Like,
up with the captain.
I get it, but like that's the type of shit that you watch that and you go, nah, if it's 3 white boys and me going out, I'm not going. I'm not going fishing.
There was only one boat though. It
I
was
get
like-
it, but
yeah.
like I've tried because they said I remember somebody saying that this movie was like
it's it's based on a real story too.
right.
Yeah.
It was, but it was gonna be like it was an epic like Titanic or something like that. I went out to
It
see
was Titanic for dudes.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay,
This
cool.
is guys being dudes on it. Like it's
Titanic's
Glenn Barry,
not
Glenn Ross
Titanic
on
for
a boat,
dudes?
but
What's that?
dumber.
Titanic's not Titanic for dudes.
No, I think Titanic's Titanic for everybody,
Yeah,
but for
uh-huh.
dudes who love deep sea fishing, this is Titanic.
How do you think you would do on a sword boat?
I'll never find out.
Terrible.
I'm not like
Terrible.
a big boat guy, honestly.
You just
I'm gonna draft a movie.
Good,
Do
go.
you have anything else left to say about Perfect Storm?
I think I've said it all. I've drafted it like 15 times.
In original, I'm taking Unbreakable, which is what I thought you were gonna take.
Yeah.
And I guess there's an original run going here, and I rewatched this movie last night. And
fucked on this
fuck,
category.
It's really good.
this movie's amazing. This movie looks amazing. Obviously, M. Night Shyamalan immediately after The Sixth Sense follows this up with an original story that has deep roots in comic book storytelling. I'd forgotten about this whole
The structure.
just the whole like explanation, the title cards at the beginning of the
Mhm.
movie about comic books and comic book collecting and storytelling. But just a fascinating movie, like one of Bruce Willis's best performances, easily one of Sam Jackson's best performances. He's amazing as Glass. I had forgotten how like chilling that opening sequence is when Glass is born and his mother is like holding him, and Eamon Walker comes in, who was on Oz at the time, and I was like, this is probably the next great American actor. I don't know what the hell happened to Eamon Walker. I don't even think he's American. Is he American?
But you mean
Eamon Walker was like your Boyd Holbrook stock.
He was. I was like, I truly.
If you ever watch him in Oz, because he was the leader of the Muslims,
He
right?
was.
Yeah, and he was powerful.
Super
Yes.
powerful.
This is my second ring.
I don't
podcast
understand
this week
why
where
he's
we've
not a
talked
huge
about Oz.
famous
I
actor.
can't believe it's
Well,
only your
obviously,
second
well,
one.
we'll be your
I
last.
don't know
Only Tuesday.
why on the Ringer why we stay away from Oz. Oz is a very
incredible
important
show.
television show.
I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill would start like a
Yeah.
dedicated Oz feed
No,
tomorrow.
Bill and I were talking about a completely different show in Prestige yesterday, and he's like, "Let's talk about Oz for a
Yeah.
second."
I think Oz might be one of the first things that Bill and I connected on because we had like
yeah.
it's like been. I visited the set of Oz when I was in high school as well.
That's
which
so
is like
fucking
something that
weird.
my uncle won.
You did what?
I
so
visited the
weird.
set of Oz.
You did what?
Yeah.
You just go there, you see some guy on guy assault.
We didn't
like
there was no like Schillinger
your brain still
crucifying
forming.
anybody on the
Yeah.
day I visited it. But it was
That's like
so
every other
weird.
episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Oh my
like, it's-
God.
Emerald City, I'll never forget it. I saw it
Yeah.
in person. Okay, that's my pick.
Unbreakable.
I have a super hot take that no one in the world agrees with.
About Unbreakable?
Yeah. After all of these years, it's his best movie to me.
Oh.
It's okay. So no,
Do you
so
think Trap is?
so it's his best movie. I'll tell you
The
why.
power of Josh
If
Hart.
you go back and you watch The Sixth Sense, The Sixth Sense is like
Don't take what
It's a diamond.
it is at the same time from start to finish. From start to finish, Unbreakable is a superior movie. It tells to me a more brooding. The script is tighter. The character development is more direct, and I think whereas the twist at the end of Sixth Sense is all time movie stuff, the twist at the end of Unbreakable just to me solidifies the entire mythology of the movie.
It's operatic high drama when you watch it now.
It's a
where
really
the-
good take. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
but
I don't
it's
agree, but I respect the
That's
take.
why
We've
you're
also heard you
professional.
make this take about science. Like I feel like you make the claim that a lot of Shyamalan movies are his best.
Is the-
movies.
Science is his best.
Yeah.
You think
People are
Science
allowed
is
to
the
change,
best? Yeah.
Rob.
Do you guys like The Happening?
No.
With the trees?
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's gotten better over the years.
It's pretty cool.
When I first saw it, I didn't get it, but I watched it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
I probably saw Unbreakable in the theater 7 to 8 times.
It's extremely good.
Yeah. It was a craze. An
What?
absolute craze.
7 to 8 times?
Yeah.
What movie have you seen the most?
Revenge
in-
of the Sith
How many times?
in the movie theater. No idea. Couldn't possibly tell you. Couldn't possibly tell you.
Well, Mallory, you can tell us your next pick.
Nope.
No,
It's Rob.
No.
Rob.
Sorry, Rob.
Don't take the movies that I want to take.
The movie I'm going to take is Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my inner girl boss on a little bit.
Oh, Jesus.
Why not your
All right,
outer
Rob.
You
girl?
really have arrived with a very particular
Yeah.
energy today.
Okay.
She's not really a girl boss until the end of the.
They
you know,
don't. They
I mean,
won't let her be a
Yeah,
girl boss.
But once she starts
But
like
it's always
shouting
her
down
spirit,
lawyers, like
yeah.
I think we've entered the zone.
What category, Rob?
I'm going to take it in Blockbuster, which feels a little flimsy to me at this point. I love how obsessed Soderbergh is with process, like we talked about with Traffic. What makes this movie great to me is the same thing that makes Ocean's 11 great, which is like deep process, obsession with process, but also incredible charisma. Like you are in the well with Julia Roberts pulling up dead frogs and shit. And it's like, who would you rather spend a movie with than that, in my opinion? So I feel great taking this off the board. I don't understand what's going on with biker babysitter fairy godmother Aaron Eckhart in
I
this
was gonna
movie.
say,
But
There's a lot of bandana work.
If
But
I go to,
I think it's all perfect.
If I go
still.
to Turkey and get a hair transplant, I'm coming back with the Eckhart from this movie.
Yeah, the bandana. Yeah. No.
You
Listen,
can pull it off.
Did we not think that Aaron Eckhart was going to be the biggest thing in the whole world?
He is magnetic
He-
in this movie.
He had a
Magnetic.
couple of starts and stops though, because
Yeah.
it was this, and then he was a little down for a while, and then
What's the one
Dark
where him
Knight,
and Swank go to
Thank
the
you
core
for
of the
smoking.
earth?
Huh?
I believe it's called
The core.
Core.
The core.
Oh,
Like, he
that
had a
movie
couple.
scared me.
Well,
The
it,
core
it all
of
starts
Starts
with
and
In the
Stops.
Company of Men. You may recall.
Yeah.
Neil
Yeah.
Williams In the Company of Men.
Now he
Maybe
makes
Neil will come up again
3
during
movies
this
a month.
podcast.
Which one is In the Company of Men? Is that also Topher Grace?
No,
No.
it's
No, that's
him
In
and
Good
Matt
Company.
Malloy.
That's Company.
Company.
In
Okay.
Right.
Good
Jason
Company is a
Patrick.
banger to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all
No,
say.
that's
Okay.
Your Friends and Neighbors
Right.
before it was a TV show.
Right.
Hmm.
Rob, you have another pick?
Oh, I
No,
want to
no.
shout out
Mallory has
another.
two picks.
Before we go,
Sorry.
I want to shout out another environmental movie. You guys ever see 1998's A Civil Action with
Of
John
course,
Travolta?
yes.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of the end of the super respectable John Travolta run, and then
I
he
love
goes
that
off and
shit.
makes like several insane movies in a row. I only know about this because on a text
It's a
chain with
before,
friends
after
we were
General
talking about
Slaughter.
Swordfish, and Swordfish
Oh,
was
Swordfish.
when Travolta was like fully deranged. And there's also a fully deranged Travolta movie in this year.
There sure is.
I
There
don't think
sure
it will come
is.
up in the draft.
I know what I'm doing here. There are 3 movies that I would really like to be able to pick here. I can only pick 2 of them. I feel pretty confident Rob is going to take the one I'm not picking. And I think Rob's draft is really good. So I'm a little bit bummed about that, but I have to follow my heart. I'm about to pick 2, and this is not hyperbole, 2 of my 10 favorite movies ever. Legitimately. So I have to
2
do
of
it.
your 10
Yeah.
favorite movies ever.
Wow.
See,
I guess this
2000
is-
You got to
Yeah.
do 2
Not so
of your
bad.
10 favorite movies in the end of the
When I
second,
say
beginning
them,
of
you
the
guys are
third.
going to be like, yeah, I know that is true about you. You're not going to
Okay.
be surprised by what I pick. You definitely won't be. Okay. In original. So relieved to pick an original. This was really stressing me out. Okay. A lot of things were happening late in high school.
This could go
In
so many
young men's
directions.
basements.
Yeah.
What?
A lot of things were happening in young men's basements in
Males.
Reisterstown, Maryland.
Were you there?
I was.
Okay.
You know, the parents are upstairs, but like, sure, it's time for a blowjob. And
Jesus
then
Christ!
watch it snatch! Watch it snatch! I am taking snatch as my original. When I think back,
So were these happening at the same time?
often sequenced.
Yeah.
Often sequenced.
I mean,
Which comes first? Phrasing. Which comes first?
I kind of want to explore what you're talking about,
sure,
but
please.
also really do not.
Well, it's a safe space today among friends, and I'm being sincere. When I think back to late high school, I think about watching Snatch in my high school boyfriend's basement and all the other things that we were doing down there. It's true. I will be
Do you
taking
wanna
that
name him?
original. I will not be naming him either. I will be going with the Chris Ryan rule, and I will not be
Do you
naming
think
him. No, I'm
he
very fond
married
of him
Chris's
still.
then girlfriend?
Are you feeling good about invoking this and your dad's name in like pretty quick succession?
Totally fine. Totally fine about it. Feel totally fine.
That's the thing is like we got the picture without it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
Sure
bet.
did.
I love Snatch. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I think I
Oh,
picked Lockstock
shit.
when we did
You did.
that draft.
Mhm.
Like, I love.
You're a Guy Ritchie girl.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
love these movies. They're endlessly entertaining to me.
I love that you're going to try and talk about this movie now as if that's
You like- You like Doug's? This is like weirdly my favorite Brad Pitt performance ever. Not actually, maybe, but I just love it. This movie is sensational. Like the bullet tooth Tony, the fact that it says replica down the side of your gun and mine says Desert Eagle. Like we were just walking around in high school quoting this movie to each other endlessly. It has like a real place in my heart. I rewatched it recently, still fucking holds up.
You know what,
Banger.
Mal? I really wanted this movie, but in
I
so
thought
many
this was
ways,
what you were gonna take.
You earned it. She earned it with
I
that.
thought you were gonna take it. Thank you.
100 out of 100% chance I was getting it, and I
I thought for sure
am
one of you was gonna
shocked.
take it in this round. I thought for sure.
I almost took it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow,
My next
okay.
pick, and this is one that I don't think
Snatch
anyone
is
will
great.
be. It's a fucking great movie.
You kind of ruined it forever for me. But,
Even
I won't apologize.
Even
That's-
against
that was
me.
never watching it again.
I'm sorry. That was funny.
Thank you, darling. For my third pick here on the turn, I will be taking, as recently discussed on a memorable episode of Rewatchable, it's my favorite comedy ever, Best in Show.
Yeah,
I
this-
fucking love this
that's
movie.
really
It is. I thought
good.
was gonna be your
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
pick,
I-
actually.
that's where I thought you were
If
going.
I don't know why my strategy kind of changed radically when I got the number one pick. If I had been like late in the first round, I probably would have taken this
Best
in
in
the
Show.
first
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
So the fact that I have the opportunity to take it here is a real delight to me. This movie, I have like a vivid memory of watching this with my dad for the first time. He still quotes Harlem Pepper to me all the time. Nothing makes me laugh laugh. Nothing is like a sure bet to make me crack up, like rib agony laughter than watching Cookie try to walk after she twists her knee. It's just the best. I love Christopher Guest, and this is my favorite Christopher Guest movie, so I'm thrilled taking that in comedy. I think it's going to be a debacle for me when we get to the rest of my picks, though.
Well, your first 3 picks are bangers.
Yeah.
So you're
Your
in a
first
good
3 picks are
position.
bangers, and
Yeah.
you certainly won the anecdote Olympics. So
Shit.
The breakout is the social breakout is set, I think.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, man.
I hope not. We have 1 hour to complete this draft.
Oh,
Can we
boy.
do it with all of these picks? I
Yeah.
believe that we can.
Okay.
Rob,
We
you
keep
are
it
the
moving.
first person.
Don't suppose we have time for a bathroom break. No?
I think people can get up and go and come back if they need to.
Wow, that's actually quite fascinating. We've never done that
I
before,
know.
but I actually would support it.
Mm.
If
I
you-
wouldn't dare.
Well, I'm going to do it after I pick. So
Yeah. It's kind of like getting up for the bathroom when you're seeing a movie.
yeah.
I also wouldn't
Oh,
dare.
you mean while people are
Like mid-draft.
Why'd you? I
Oh.
didn't have to clean the bathroom. Well, maybe I did.
Well, you said you had a mop when people vomited. You know,
true. Yeah.
is it that much of a reach?
Thanks for your support.
Okay, Rob. Are you flummoxed by these last 2 picks?
I'm a little flummoxed just by some of the relative scarcity in some of these categories, or
I
whether
feel
to
like I
go
know
with
what
like
you're
the
picking,
movie I
but
like more or
maybe
the
not.
category I need more. I'm gonna go with American Psycho.
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it in drama.
Wow, okay.
Is that a drama?
Well, it's become a comedy.
It's definitely is a comedy and
Yes.
is a thriller. I'm not sure that you can qualify as,
Okay,
as a drama.
I'll take it in thriller. That's no
Okay.
problem.
Is
Any,
it
any disagreement there?
I mean, I think it's
No.
a dark comedy.
I'm okay with
but
it.
If you wanted to take it there.
It's a dramedy, or it's a drama of the soul. You know, like it's a man's one long night.
I agree with
Through
Rob. I think it's
capitalism.
cross-category.
One of the greatest meme movies. of all
I
time.
Incredible
actually don't think
It's
that
it's very purposefully
comedy
designed as
or-
a satire.
Yeah.
So I would argue it's not a drama.
Absolutely fair.
The best Bret Easton Ellis, no?
Adaptation?
Yes? Adaptation?
I enjoy Rules of Attraction.
I enjoy
Rules of Attraction.
Uh,
This
Zero.
clears it.
No,
think.
this is
I think
the
this is the
one.
best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so where did you take this?
Right.
Is Luca going to remake this?
He says
He
so.
says so, yeah. I don't know if that's
kinda hope
necessary.
not.
This is really good. It's not exactly the book, but it gets a lot of what is so funny and so smart about the book.
I think,
And like lives on as a
Yes.
reference
Yeah.
point and a
Mhm.
life of its own.
and I think
Vale is unreal. in
I
this
think
movie.
riffs on the things in the like sands down some edges from the book, heightens some other things, takes like the rodents out of it. Like there's some stuff that just needed to be out if
Yeah.
you're gonna put this
Yeah.
on screen.
Okay, that's a good pick. That puts
Good
me
to
in an
be
interesting
square.
spot.
Shout out to Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chainsaws.
I didn't sing the Terrier song
Shout out
from
to
Best in Show,
Herringbone.
but I,
Mhm.
you know,
You
that
could, though.
also this really is a musical draft.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Terrier song is
In the year
so funny.
2000, we started
Sweet
off
little
on a musical
Winky.
note.
Sweet little Winky.
I will take a film that was referenced earlier. Another movie that I was like, I can't believe this is happening. That maybe at a time seemed great, then maybe was like a little problematic, but I think has circled back to being amazing, which is High Fidelity, which is an amazing Americanization of an English novel about what it's like to work in a record store and what it means to be defined by your stuff. I'm sorry, Joanna, you're looking at me like I just killed
No,
a
no,
puppy
no,
or
no.
something.
This is the origin story of Joanna. The book was better Robinson. Like I remember when I read the Hornby book, and I was
I mean,
like,
most Hornby books.
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I don't even disagree.
Yeah.
The 2 most important Robs in the world, though, Rob Mahoney and this Rob.
We got to
Yeah.
stick up for each
Yeah,
other.
the titular
He's
Rob.
kind of a douchebag sometimes, but
Kind of.
that's also kind of the point.
Sometimes.
You know what's-
I think he
you
has
know
some
what's funny?
redeemable qualities.
That character is me.
Van, you're kind of a douchebag sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
don't do
especially-
that to yourself.
I swear, when I saw that movie, I was like, that for all of the flaw, that character is me. Like as a for the white boy deal, like I connected so much to that character, and still, like, I make no apologies about it. Like a lot of the stuff that he does in that movie, I would do.
I don't
Would
think
you-
I realized though, like how smart the movie is about what a dipshit Rob is. When
Yeah.
I was a teenager,
Yeah.
I just didn't really. I got it in the book,
yeah.
and the movie. I think because they kind of like trick you with the Cusack casting.
Yeah.
Because Cusack is usually this person that you're
Mhm.
like, I'm so emotionally
Well, he's
with
also-
the say
yeah.
anything guy. Even if he's a little crazy, I'm with him. But he's so lost in the sauce.
Misplaced righteous indignation,
Yep.
thinks he knows everything, knows nothing, has everybody on his side so they know the whole story.
Yep. But him selling beta band to people in stores is insane. That is one of the great flexes. And I mean, you worked in record stores.
I did.
No love for this movie.
I love this film. I think I actually am more partial to the book.
The book is better.
Yeah.
The book is better.
But it was like this was also like a very cool like late period 90, like it almost had like a lot of its roots in the 90s, but to see a lot of the Chicago indie rock scene
Mhm.
in this film is a real real hoot.
Would you reconsider your Rob rankings if I submitted
Whoa.
yeah, Zoe Kravis's Rob from the great
Well.
Hulu adaptation of High Fidelity?
You know how I feel about Zoe, my
That
wife.
season was so good.
So good.
I loved
enjoyed it a
it.
lot.
It was
Incredibly
really,
good.
really
I mean,
good.
wonderfully connected to the movie.
It's
Yes,
one of the
yes,
most
right.
baffling
Fantastic.
cancels.
I thought
I
all
agree.
the I thought
ever.
all the changes they made sense. I
Yeah.
thought it was like
Really good.
blissfully contemporary in the
Yeah.
way they went
Mhm.
about it. All the performances were great. I don't know what happened.
I do not know why they canceled that.
That was like one of those COVID things where
Yeah, I think so.
like something got lost in it.
And it had her. Like they had like
Yeah.
a legitimate
Magnetic.
movie
Mhm.
person star, and they didn't continue to do the show. It was just an odd decision.
I'm
they
taking
had
this movie
Divine
in
Joy
comedy, by the way, Jack.
I really loved that TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
it's
good.
great.
Divine Joy Randolph dancing to Come On Eileen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So good.
beautiful stuff.
Okay, CR, you've got to pick.
In Blockbuster, I'll take Castaway. Had to do it.
Yeah.
At the time, I think I saw this and I was like, that was pretty cool. But this is one of the TNT ones for me, where it's like over the years, just be like, oh, cool, this 20-minute section, that 20-minute section, incredible ending. The set pieces are amazing, and it's an incredible Hanks run here. And this is how many people could carry this film.
I think it's the best plane crash sequence in a movie.
Yeah.
I think the
Terrifying.
plane crash is wild.
How about the most meaningful relationship we've ever seen between two figures on screen?
Wilson.
Him and Wilson.
Correct. When Wilson
How many
drifts
basement
away,
viewings of this
Yes,
movie
yes.
did you have?
I mean, I can't.
I can't.
it's very emotional watching Wilson
bet.
bob away
I
at
bet
sea.
it was probably emotional for him too.
He had to let go of Wilson to be free, though, man. Wilson was the last thing connecting him to the island.
Painful.
You know what? The other scene that jumped out to me when I watched it last year was when he tries to swim out.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Gets
say
stuck.
lancing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tooth with
Gets-
the
that, like-
Was it all the FedEx
Ice skate?
SpawnCon?
That didn't bother me. That didn't bother me at all. Okay, Joanna.
Gonna run it.
This is really tough because Blockbuster's getting quite spindly.
Hmm.
So I don't mean to be too on brand for our podcast, but I think I'll just take X-Men off the board.
I was gonna do
Interesting.
it.
Um, It is an incredibly important
Yeah.
comic book movie.
Mhm.
It
This
was
is Patrick Stewart and
Ian
and,
McKellen.
mhm.
The origin of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, a role he
Mm.
is still playing to this
Vibranium?
day.
Is that right?
Yes.
Adamantium.
Adamantium.
Okay, vibranium
Yeah.
is what?
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Okay,
But which is stronger, Amanda? What do you think, vibranium or adamantium?
I have no idea. I can't. Get
It's a
into
debate
that.
for the ages. So
Okay.
Yeah.
it's okay that you don't know the answer.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we'll
Um,
be able to talk about this for roughly the next 10 years
I'm
on the podcast.
very excited.
This is where a young Kevin Feige, who was working as an assistant for Lauren Schuler Donner, got his start and his connection to the Marvel world. So this is the origin story of Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. And it's Marzin's a great
jaw.
great Cyclops.
The jawline.
I was just talking to somebody about who the next Cyclops should be. I want to have
Well,
a
Amanda's boy is like firmly rumored.
AB?
Well, Harris.
Which one?
Alordi?
Harris Dickinson.
Harris.
Oh,
Harris.
really?
A lot of
He's
rumors
not
about
gonna
that.
do it
Some
for
He
him.
won't do it.
Patrick
No, he's
Schwarzenegger
agree-
rumors.
no.
He's not
Oh,
gonna
I've
do it.
seen. I've seen. the
I've
Patrick
seen the
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger
That's who it
rumors.
was.
and the
He's
team-
That's
yeah,
who it
really
was.
good.
I was like,
Harris
this is.
Dickinson-
He'd be really
He
good.
was born to be
Schwarzenegger
Cyclops.
would be
His
really
life
good.
away to the
Yeah.
Beatles. You
Yeah.
can't do both.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I don't think Harris Dickinson would do it. I love this movie when it came out. I was so
Yeah.
happy.
Oh my
After
God, it's
10 years of
life-changing.
reading Wizard
Yeah.
and dream casting in my mind and them getting Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, I was like, this is crazy how good this is. And I didn't even really know who Hugh Jackman was, and he obviously was fantastic.
Chris, X-Men is off the board.
So Chris, sorry you can't take another Bryan Singer film.
I know, devastating for you.
Tough one for you. Van, you're up.
You really peaked with Valkyrie anyway.
So I was going to take. I was going to take X-Men.
hmm
Blockbuster is anything over 100 domestic, right?
Correct.
So I'll take Remember the Titans.
That's what I almost took.
Yeah.
Titans to
Yeah.
X-Men.
Delete.
Not too much to talk about. Very affecting movie. I was shamed outside of City Place Theater, Baton Rouge. Me and Gino went to see Meet the Parents. And when I left, we saw some of his friends, his frat brothers, and they was like, man, y'all didn't see Remember the Titans? And we was like, nah, we went to see Meet the Parents. And they made us feel less black. So,
and you were, to be fair.
for that night,
Yeah.
because we was like, damn. We was like, man, Can you deal with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They treated you like the black guy in the Perfect Storm.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
that guy got drowned. But yeah, so Remember the Titans. Not much to say about
Great
the
movie.
movie.
Great movie.
Great film.
Yeah, wonderful movie.
So yeah. Remember
Wow,
the Titans.
blockbuster run here.
Mhm.
Incredible musical sequence with Ryan Gosling and
A lot of young stars in it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of young
Oh, yeah.
stars that we would hear from years to come.
Okay, blockbusters are flying fast. Amanda, you've got 2 picks here.
I do. It's not going to be a perfect game for me, but I am going to go 3 for 3 in original. I will be taking center stage.
You are
This
one
one
of the
entirely
great-
yourself today.
Listen,
Exactly.
Are you kidding?
I love
One
it.
of the great dance films.
I had to say, I didn't know what was going to happen if any of these three
Went to
were
someone
taken.
else.
anyone
I-
else.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Nobody,
well, it's good.
Nobody would have dared.
That well, you mentioned center stage at a
I know, to get like
at a sleepover, right?
or
You ever
check
seen
on the
Center Stage?
room.
I've seen Center
and
Stage.
the
Yeah.
temperature dropped, and you were like,
This
no.
is not the
Chill
okay. So there
was
were 2.
palpable.
It's
There were
not
2.
Julia Stiles. That saved the last dance.
No. But there were 2 ballet movies.
Yeah.
One was The Company, and then the other one was Center Stage. One
Right.
was with Nev Campbell. That was The Company,
This
right?
Right,
is always
yeah,
so
yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
Zoe
this is
Saldana.
Zoe
Yeah,
Saldana.
Zoe
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, he's going to. Okay,
I'm
that's
hosting
fine.
now.
Oh great. Oh congratulations.
Amanda, you've got another pick. I
Thank
think.
you. Yeah, I do. So this one, Oscar nominee is actually also getting pretty thin because so many of the Oscar nominees have gone in other categories. Rob took my number 1 pick, of course, because he's undefeated
Bill in the lab to kill you. Yeah.
at ruining. I was going to take Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Wonder Boys.
Oh,
right?
Steady
A
off the
forgotten big deal movie.
No, I
forgot
love
it.
it.
Hoffman and Levine, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Love this
And Michael Douglas, obviously, young Katie Holmes.
Which category you said? Oscar?
Yeah, Oscar nominee. And,
Yep.
and by the way, do you know what Oscar it won?
Wonder Boys?
Yeah. I'm pointing this right at you. It won original song written
No.
by
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Bobby D.
Bobby D.
Bobby D.
Yeah, this is like I guess they still do make like, East Coast academic, in trouble movies because
now.
they're making one Luca Guadagnino coming in the fall. But yeah, for now.
These are great picks.
But it seemed like I saw this at the right age, like if I saw this now, it
Had you
would
read
be
the book
good,
before?
But no,
Did you
it's a
have
Michael
it-
Shaman book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was impressed. I another like, I think I'm very grown up, and I'm a grown up, and I'm watching like grown up movies,
Yeah.
matters of the heart and such with real.
This
with
book
real
was
actors.
like like do a digital highlight on your Kindle, and still the analog. I was like turning over a lot of pages. Like these are profound thoughts.
Yeah,
that I need to
totally.
like remember. And now I'm too old and brain dead to actually recall. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of those in
Yeah.
this tome.
Excellent robe goals in this movie. The fluffy pink robe.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Come on,
Michael
yeah.
Douglas wears for most of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, his life. It's not actually what I want. It gets a little messy, but
It does. It does.
you like to. I was at the age where I was like, oh, is that what
Is that who I
adults
wanna
can
be?
do with their lives?
Yeah.
if I ace all my AP classes,
Yeah.
like,
You can
can
move
this
to
And then you
happen?
did.
Yeah,
Fives only.
exactly.
Fives only.
and then
Yeah.
he did.
5 so.
Yeah,
Bam, we're going back to you now, man.
So because I
I didn't get to
Should've-
go to the basement, but
because I
did
should have
get
seen it
vibes.
that night, and comedy is about to get very contracted. It's not that many comedies off the board. I'm gonna take Meet the Parents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This is a great movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Meet the Parents.
And comedy.
Oh, fuck, I missed Wonder Boys.
We
Yeah.
did. We had a great. We all had a great time.
Yeah, we had a
talking
great
about it.
time.
Great,
Any
yeah.
I just
comments?
watched it yesterday.
It's a
the
wonderful
best.
film.
It's
Yeah.
so
Ah,
good.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what's a great idea for a movie? Sorry to interrupt you, Van. When it's just like this guy's having a bad weekend.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
a good idea for a
Exactly,
movie.
and it's Michael Douglas.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't have much else to say about it. I was unprepared for how hysterical the film was going to be
Yeah.
when I
It
saw
was
it.
really funny. Yeah.
You know, it was an era of great comedies that were aimed right for my demo. Milner's Fokker, Robert De Niro, career resurgence right there as a comedian coming off the heels of Analyze This. But no, I love the movie, so big deal. Meet the Parents, easy.
lot of Blockbuster getting super thin.
Yeah, that was comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was one of the big.
I have not taken a Blockbuster, so I am concerned.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna take a
it is what it is.
blockbuster that no one will care to take.
It is what it is.
Didn't you already take?
Yeah, you
Remember
already
the
have a
Titans?
pick.
Yeah.
Very
Blockbuster.
true.
You could still take another Blockbuster.
I am gonna take another
in
Blockbuster.
That would be
wild
interesting
card.
if you did that to
Yeah.
Mal.
Right.
Okay, Joanna, you're up.
Oh, okay. So this draft isn't going very well for me, so I'm just going to be purely myself.
Do it.
And say in comedy, I would like State and Maine.
Yeah.
A David Lynch film that I
Very
love.
good, yes.
If I couldn't get one Philip Seymour Hoffman movie this year, I'll take the other.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
I
pick.
love this movie.
This movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Really good
It's a
movie.
great pick.
What would,
Thank you.
This was Mamet. What had he done like right around this time? Like, is this
The
after?
Winslow boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is after Spanish Prisoner
Yeah.
and stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
Talk about a good movie.
Spanish Prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lives a con.
The language
I
in that
love
movie is-
con men movies. They don't make them enough. I've talked about this before.
Just
Like,
talked to my guy Nick Cage about this.
What about
He's like,
a
"Matt, put
con
some
man
respect
who's
on
having
Matchstick
one bad
Man."
weekend?
Now they just make them like into Girl Boss Netflix.
yeah,
series.
like so. You think that keep telling about the one on Apple a couple years ago, Sharper.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
But you didn't like it. What were you looking at?
I think
I-
she's just concerned that I really
Mallory
need to go to
can't
the
see
eye doctor. I
anything, and
can't see
it
anything.
always
Sorry.
concerns me.
I
Oh,
can't see anything.
Yeah.
Bummed.
She was
Are you-
squinting
do you have, like,
far
a
and she's
fear?
squinting near.
I just haven't been to the eye doctor in like 14 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
but
you haven't
like,
had
are
your
you
hair cut
afraid
in
of it?
13 months and haven't been to the eye
Ask about
doctor
the
in 14
dentist.
years.
Don't
I
can't
support
see anything
you.
like you can't see
I
that
support you
screen.
on that one. It's
How many
Can't see
fine.
that
times-
screen
how many
and
times
she
have
Keep
you
brushing,
seen
Anyway.
keep flossing, you'll be fine.
She's beautiful and
I
luminous.
can make out like hues.
Can we do a
Shapes.
fake pod taping where we bring in an optometrist to meet Mallory?
Yeah.
How do you watch the films?
There's
Not an
with,
issue in
with
the basement,
passion and
obviously.
conviction.
Their TV is really
know?
big.
And 2 feet from the screen.
It's sitting very
Um,
close to our television. Yeah.
Okay, State and Maine, great pick. CR, you're up.
Cool.
I will take Scream 3 in action horror thriller, the one set in Hollywood, and one of the more delightful kind of like I think incisive entries into this fantastic franchise, one of my favorite franchises. You've got Patrick Dempsey playing a Hollywood cop, you've got Parker Posey doing her amazing lampooning of Scream Queens. Just an awesome movie. The whole like Lance Henriksen backstory and stuff, dirty 70s Hollywood, everything. So Scream 3 is an easy pick for me here.
All right. I'm missing a few key categories, and Oscar nominees getting very thin. And so I'll take one of my very favorite movies from this year, The Contender,
Mhm.
Yeah, that was my
political
Hell
thriller
yeah.
and
Yeah.
drama, written and directed by Rod Lurie.
Great
Sort of a
pick.
reaction to the Lewinsky scandal about a woman who is put up for vice president that has, or maybe doesn't have, a salacious
Joan Allen.
sexual basement snatch style history.
I was gonna
And-
say,
I
if
was
you
about
didn't
to
make the
say.
snatch comment,
comment.
I
I was
would
about
know.
to say.
Incredibly memorable cast. Both Joan Allen and Jeff Bridges were nominated. Jeff Bridges, one of the all-time great movie presidents. I think in many ways, Barack Obama watched this movie and watched how Jeff Bridges acted in this movie and absorbed some of those tendencies.
such a
One of my
take.
takes.
He has
You don't
said,
get-
he
you
has
don't
said
get-
that
Take.
So you're saying
He's on
Obama?
record
You
saying
saying
it's his
Obama got
favorite
his
movie
swag
president.
from a white man? Look at you.
No, I didn't say
That
that.
is what you said.
Those are words that you put in my
just
mouth.
said.
I said the phrase I used was absorb some of his tendencies.
Wow.
So you can
Fucking
define that
shark
however you
steak
like.
sandwich.
I love the sandwich part.
Fucking shark steak.
This is a very smart and entertaining bit of ridiculousness, and if you accept it in that way and not as like an adequate representation of our politics, I think it's a lot more fun. Also, Gary Oldman, who really did not like this movie because of the way that it
Yeah.
was changed in the editing process, who also produced it,
Yeah.
is actually quite good in cooking as an
Yeah.
awful Southern senator.
It's-
Christian Slater is good in it.
Very
Like,
good.
yeah.
It's funny that he was so like vocally unhappy about it, given how amazing
He's
the
awesome
performance
in it.
is.
Yeah, he's so good, and obviously closely modeling on the like Strom Thurmond, Lindsey Graham style Southern right-leaning senator. Okay, Rob, you're up.
You terrified me when you brought up Oscar nominee. There's really one Oscar nominee I want that's left on the board, and that's Dancer in the Dark.
Oh,
Holy shit.
wow.
Okay.
Like, I don't know that there's another human being who could have starred in this movie.
Some upbeat picks from you here.
Yeah,
Some-
right. You're in a cheerful mood
Some real
today.
uppers, but you know what? Half of this is
Christ.
a shiny musical.
Sure.
You know, a real delightful time at the cinema. The rest of it, not so much.
Yep.
Right.
I kind of get why Bjork wasn't nominated for Best Actress for this movie because it's not very Academy coded, but this is just one of the best performances of the year. Unbelievable movie. And I'm especially glad to have it because I think the rest of the Oscar nominees are pretty bleak. Unless you want The Emperor's New Groove, which I support any of you who do.
Don't knock it.
Wow.
It might be
A
the
lot
worst
of- a
looking
lot of-
Disney movie I've ever
A
seen.
lot of younger people vote on these drafts, and they love.
So
Kronk.
you're just
Kronk
whipping
and
votes?
Yzma?
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that's what do you think I'm pandering to the younger demographic with State and Maine, Rob?
I thought Billy, you're going straight for the ballet crowd.
I don't know if
you
Emperor's New Groove is going to get picked, but if anybody is interested in
Mm,
Disney history, the development and production of that movie is really interesting.
Oh, the way it was a completely different movie.
It's completely changed
Yeah,
from being like an Aztec-inspired kind of mega epic and turned into a goofy comedy. Anyhow, Mallory, you've got 2 picks.
Okay. I'm like afraid that there's like that something's wrong with this movie and I don't know that, and that's why it's
Super
still
exciting.
here. So let me know.
Okay.
Did you watch it in Lad's basement? That's my question.
That's actually a good pod.
In a fashion.
That's a good
yeah.
pod. Lad's
Lad's basement pod.
I mean, to be fair, that's most pods.
That's just
Honestly,
You
yeah.
could rate the movies by duration,
that's most pods.
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm. I thought this was gonna go like really high first 2 rounds, so I'm
This is a classic
no,
Mallory
but
draft tactic.
normally I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go. I'm so elated to have it, and I am, but I'm also like,
Concerned.
what am I missing here? How is this still here? I will be selecting with joy in my heart and also terror in my heart. I will be picking my my action horror thriller movie here. I'm taking Battle Royale.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Why is that still
Oh,
here?
shit.
What am I missing?
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay, I thought this was gonna go in the first.
The reason
2
why
rounds.
it's there is because I fucking forgot.
Okay,
Because
this movie's not only incredible and obviously deeply harrowing and stylistically inventive and memorable, haunting. It's so influential on the pop culture that came in its wake.
No Squid Game
Mallory,
without
this
this
is
movie.
a great
Yeah.
draft.
Squid Game,
Yeah.
Hunger Games, like we don't have a lot of
Yeah.
these dystopian
I
society has
totally fucking
fallen.
forgot about it.
So
yeah.
this movie was
Stories?
actually, as far as I know, never theatrically released in the United States. Rob and I did talk about this and a handful of others. And so anytime a film does have a US distribution, we go with that date. If a movie doesn't come out in this country, we have to go with the year that it is released, which is 2000. So it is
Probably
eligible.
didn't really
That's
make
eligible.
its way over to the States.
It was also
Yeah.
banned in
I mean,
many
I saw this
countries.
way later
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
2000.
This was
but-
considered like a really kind of a very rare case of 21st century. This is too depraved for the public kind of outcry that you found a lot more in the 60s and 70s.
So there was a point in my life where I was playing Marvel versus Capcom 2 competitively.
Mhm.
Incredible
Oh, yeah,
game.
man.
Yeah.
And
That's a show.
yeah.
You were taking AP tests and we were playing.
Oh,
that
okay,
game.
all right,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
No, no, no,
so
no,
much
I
to-
know,
so much
we're
to
on the
dive into
clock.
here.
So when you say you're playing it competitively, can you just set the scene for me?
I was traveling around to
Okay.
different
Wizard.
cities.
Well,
Like
yeah,
going
let's
to
just say it like the
tournaments.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but so like where are the tournaments held?
There's Texas Showdown in
These are great
Texas.
questions.
There's
No, but like like,
Houston.
hotel ballroom,
no,
like
no,
in,
in an arcade. It's at an arcade. It's an arcade game, so it's in the
The
arcade.
Astrodome.
Yeah, like, it's in an arcade. Go down to New Orleans, go to different
Okay.
places. I was watching. There's like all kinds of hierarchy in the video game world and all that. And after one of the tournaments, somebody put on this fucking movie because this movie is very video
coded.
game
Yeah.
tournament coded. I watched it. I was fucking blown away by Battle Royale.
Cool. Was this before or after you were a professional pool player?
It wasn't professional,
Well,
okay, but it actually leads right into
Semi-pro?
that. It's like
Okay.
it goes from the obsessions. They keep going. It's right after pool. Marvel versus Capcom 2. It's playing competitively.
You really are Forrest Gump in so many ways.
Yeah.
Mallory, you have another pick.
ADHD.
okay. I'm making a decision to kind of punt on Blockbuster, which I assume I will deeply regret later, but I'm going, there's a movie here that I'm excited to get to take. So I'm taking my drama now.
Mhm.
I know you love this movie. I feel sure a lot of us love this movie. Here are some things I love. Spending time with you guys. Love stories,
Mhm.
sports stories.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
good.
Now,
And
Yeah.
the passage of time, I'm taking Love and Basketball.
Oh,
Yeah,
I knew
I thought
that
this was
you
in the
white
bag.
motherfuckers weren't gonna take that movie.
Well,
I was so
excuse me.
sure
Yeah, no
that
way.
love. I
Mallory.
would have
Sorry.
thought if I would have thought that there was any chance you won a fucking
Mallory.
draft. If I would have
Yeah.
thought that there's any chance that that
6
movie
and
would be
7 are getting
drafted,
basketball.
Now
I
you're
would've
having a
taken
fucking
it
Feeling good.
crazy draft here.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if I would have thought
This
there
is
was
a lesson
any
for me
chance,
because-
Really good draft. This is
thought
a
I was
really
gonna
good
I would
draft.
have took Love and
I'm
Basketball.
sorry.
versus
I
Women
feel
of the
bad.
Titan.
This is
Yeah.
like the thing I had 2 things that I was like, 3 things. Could I possibly do it to another person? Almost Famous with you. Bring It On with you.
Yeah.
And Love and Basketball with Sean.
I cannot believe this.
You, I think
Incredible
we can
movie.
we
It's
can
on my
survive
list.
anything.
Yeah,
This was going off the board next if you didn't pick it.
I know.
All right,
It's a little disrespectful
Now-
that it's the 5th round.
now
but
my
I'm
draft
surprised,
is
yeah.
going to get really weird. I can't wait.
That's a tough beat for me.
I'm sorry, buddy. Great movie. Great fucking movie.
Gina Prince Bythewood's an amazing film. Okay, Rob.
I'm gonna go with a drama. I'm gonna take the Taiwanese masterpiece EE.
Also next to my list.
Damn, this is a fascinating
Yeah.
draft.
It's
Loving
just
this.
like, it's like he's like a scanner. He's just like reading
Yeah.
your mind and blowing your brain up.
Well, that's 2 in a row that were like right. That were anyway.
Well,
Continue,
if you
please.
know how to talk about this movie on a podcast, I encourage it because if I talk about what this movie is about, it seems very small. If I try to tell you how it makes you feel, I'm going to sound like I'm trying to convert you to a cult, and I fucking am mostly. I want everyone to watch this movie. It is like I just think it captures the enormity of everyday life in a way that basically nothing else does. And the idea of like, what if we made a movie that made regular life feel like the most important thing in the world?
Mhm.
Shouldn't be as revolutionary as it is, but then you watch this and you're like, holy shit, this is revolutionary.
It's a wonderful pick.
Great pick.
Okay. I need drama, thriller, action, horror, and wild card. So in drama, I will take my friend James Gray's The Yards, starring Mark Wahlberg, Joaquin Phoenix, Charlize Theron, Faye Dunaway, Ellen Burstyn, and James Caan.
What a cast.
This is a very clear homage to a certain kind of gritty, hard-bitten 70s crime thriller that is basically the defining notion of my personality.
Okay.
And
extremely normal thing.
this
to say.
film, co-written with Matt Reeves, Gray's
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
Ever heard
and
of him?
now the arbiter of the Batman.
One of the
well,
Batmen.
One of the Batmen
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah. The
We'll see what
Batman.
happens. This is one of the great Wahlberg performances. Really focused and engaged Wahlberg, not manic, I'm half trying Wahlberg. And Joaquin is outrageously good as Willie Gutierrez. This is a beautiful film. The way that it's shot is absolutely amazing. Harris Abidi cinematography. And got stuck in the Harvey Weinstein zone and was a big bomb and was a $25 million movie that made less than $1 million. But if you've never seen this movie, highly encourage you check it out. It's excellent.
Can I ask you a procedural question about it? The movie goes to shit when Joaquin is like at the yard and trying to bribe the security guy or whatever with Knicks tickets.
Yeah.
To presumably like 1999 Knicks tickets. Security guard's like, no, that's not good enough. There's a 2025 Knicks ticket for the playoffs.
Wow.
Oh, my
Avoid the
God.
whole movie.
Well,
Wow.
the
Which
tough
series?
thing about that
I mean,
moment
literally
in the
anyone.
movie is that
MSU was
obviously
hopping.
they had just gone to the NBA finals.
Yeah, they went to the finals.
So
yeah.
like it actually isn't plausible.
Yeah.
But when James was writing the movie, you had to be like, we were kind of low in 1997.
Yeah.
We were not the same team that we were in
This
1994.
is why it's really hard to make sports references and then have them stick
It
throughout
really
time.
is. In 2025, yeah. I mean, I think you could like buy Tesla for 2 front courtside Knicks tickets at this point, right? No? Okay.
Maybe.
Sierra,
A
you're up.
Tesla or all of them?
The
All
whole
of it.
company, I think.
Yeah.
In comedy, I'm going to pick a movie that I think we should almost get an award sometimes. I've accidentally seen this 20 times. The Replacements.
Oh, yeah.
fuck
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves sports comedy with Gene
Yeah.
Hackman.
Yeah, fuck
John-
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Reese Ifans incredible in this movie.
Yeah.
This is a fuck yeah, dude.
Some
Yeah.
great underwear action.
This is
Yeah.
this is absolutely
Because you can't have love in basketball, you flip to fuck yeah, dude.
I'm fucking pissed.
But this is I'm sure one day I was walking down the street and it was too hot and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the movies. What's playing? And I saw The Replacements that day.
Yeah.
And then I have seen it like in some part, like countless other times on cable television. And it's a really, really solid sports comedy.
Okay, Joanna, you're up.
I'll just keep it brief and I'll say I'm picking a movie that I don't think is great, but I think was indelible of the year, which is The Cell, an action thriller.
No.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I should have known because you're
Adam
a fall
loves this
head.
Yeah, the Fallhead. Yeah.
Tarsum.
Tarsum Singh. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
No.
You don't have to understand it. You just have to let the
Yeah.
the visuals
Wash
take
it
It's
over.
wash it over
visuals,
you.
bro.
It was,
Yeah.
this was my all-time J-Lo time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
What?
I would say her performance leaves a little something to
Oh
be
yeah,
desired.
but,
in this
Certainly.
film. A little
D'Onofrio makes
something.
up for it.
He does. But
Without
this
yeah.
was
Look back.
J-Lo
Yeah.
time.
She was very powerful
Yeah.
in this. Yeah.
Really good pick, and you just kind of fucked up what I thought my board was going to be. So well
Hi,
done by you.
Okay.
Van, you're up.
I'm gonna take. Now I'm just drafting from the heart. The Patriot.
Jesus Christ.
Mel Gibson or no?
Yes.
In what category?
I'm taking it.
Problematic faves.
No, problematic. Face.
I mean,
can't remember what
you took,
category.
you
That
took,
would be a good
you took
category.
American Beauty last draft.
Yeah.
I love American Beauty. I don't understand you guys.
Yeah, Spacey and Gibson.
The
you
Patriot.
guys.
Which
I
category?
fucking love this movie. Wait, is it?
So it's Revolutionary War, right?
Yeah.
No, action. I'm taking it in action.
In
Okay.
action. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
in action.
It's a great Jason Isaacs performance.
Oh, yeah.
Great Jason Isaacs performance. I actually once talked to
Ratliff.
Jason Isaacs at the gym about it. He was
So
at the gym.
I know we're on a clock, but like, is that what you lead with when you see Jason Isaacs at the gym?
Yeah, he was like very nonplussed that I did.
But in the
that.
future,
Okay.
it would be
But
Tim
this was
Ratliff.
years ago. But
Okay.
yeah, but Tim Ratliff.
We have
yeah.
15 picks to make in
Done.
25
Well, he
minutes.
just said he was talking to
Done.
Jason Isaacs
The
at the gym
Patriot.
about
That's
the
the
Patriot.
Patriot.
That's journalism. You gotta ask
Excellent
one
pick.
follow-up.
Yeah.
Amanda,
question.
you have 2 picks.
I do, and I'm doing exactly what I want. In action horror thriller, I will be taking the 2000 classic and Cameron Diaz's best recorded
Oh, wow.
performance, Charlie's Angels.
This is
Loved
the most
this movie.
Amanda Board I've ever
Are
seen
you
in my
kidding
life.
me?
in awe right
When
now.
she's
You're the
like,
best.
this is the funniest she's ever been. When she like hears the bird song and she's like, they're in Carmel. It was very important to
If
me.
we let you make
So-
7 picks in a
holy
row,
hell.
would you basically have this?
I
roster
told
of-
you.
Yeah.
that-
Yes.
No, because there are a couple. No, I wanted American Psycho in this, and I wanted Charlie's Angels in Blockbuster. But it's okay because I have an amazing backup Blockbuster, which is of course one of Sandra Bullock's greatest recorded performances, Miss Congeniality. Speaking of TNT before baseball games,
Holy hell.
what were you guys like? I don't know what you were doing in 2000. I was at the cinema watching people be funny and also be undercover for the FBI. Candace Bergen, thank you for your service.
Okay, excellent picks.
Wow.
Van, you have another pick.
Just remarkable stuff.
Boiler Room.
Fuck off,
Great one.
God damn it!
What category? In drama?
Oh yeah, drama. I'll take Boiler Room. Fucking A, over the top.
I'm liquid.
I'm liquid. Ben Affleck
Yeah.
Mhm.
rivaling Alec Baldwin's one scene heater and Glenn Ross.
Let's
Almost.
take the temperature down
I'm
just
saying,
a little bit.
I'm just saying, comes in, fucks, leaves
Yeah.
into the basement, out.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
I like this movie against my own better judgment.
Yeah.
So, all right, Joanna.
For drama, I'll take Ghost Dog.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
God
Wow.
damn.
I was really banking on
I
that
gotta
one.
admit.
Oh lord!
I didn't know that it came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Way of the samurai.
Yeah.
The man purse.
Mm-hmm.
March 3rd. Fuck my
Jim
life.
Jarmusch.
God.
Very,
Damn it.
very good pick.
Now that's a
Sierra,
vibes
You just
pick.
got
Elite
double
vibes in
shanked.
Ghost Dog.
I feel like I'm an Oz.
Chris, you're also missing a drama and a wild card.
Yeah.
What are you going with?
I'm gonna take in drama Christopher McQuarrie's The Way of the Gun.
Sure.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Sounds
not?
right. Sounds right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I forgot about that movie.
And there's
you
it's actually
talking
a
about
very
drama?
talky drama film. Like and there's some comedy and then there is a
Mhm.
lot of violence at the end. But
Yep.
if you thought his Reacher film was a grimy B movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch Ryan Phillippe kill dudes.
Have y'all considered Garbage Elmore Leonard? I feel like Way of the
It's a
Gun
great-
is
Really good.
That's
Absolutely
really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Great
yeah.
shot.
That is something that we have completely lost to television these days too. You
Very
just
true.
don't have movies
You-
that are like that.
You do really like Ryan Phillippe.
No, I
you know, when you really think it through,
when he's a big Birds fan, I think.
that seems right.
And he was good in Cool Intentions.
Great.
What
Cruel
was Miles
Intentions.
Teller doing
Henry?
courtside at the
Mhm.
Knicks?
Yeah, me too.
Are you going to revoke his card?
No, I'm not getting into that.
Okay.
He's a real dog.
How many picks
You
we
know,
have
I
left?
didn't give you any grief about that.
I didn't give you any grief about anything. I've been sending you like
I
really
didn't get a
thoughtful
chance to
texts
tell
and
me
being like,
Jason
talk to me
Isaacs
about the
story.
postseason.
These
That-
fucking
that
guys
is-
are
that's
going
not
on.
true. That never happened.
Do you want to tell us more about Jason Isaacs at the
I
gym?
do want to tell
Yeah.
my story,
Okay.
but I'm gonna save it for Midnight Boys.
I'm taking a pick. I need to take an action horror thriller.
Mm.
I'm running out of credible titles, but there is one credible title that I quite enjoy left. It's called Pitch Black.
I love Pitch Black.
This is a banger
I
of a
love
movie.
this movie.
I am a known Vin Diesel hater, except in the instance of this movie and Boiler Room. So little, if you,
You
want
could make an argument for
little Vin
him
double
in,
feature.
in the original Fast and the Furious too. This was when he was.
I wouldn't make that argument.
but
What
in,
about
in
Private
Pitch,
Ryan?
But you could.
He's solid in
in
Private
Pitch
Ryan.
Black
Yeah.
and Boiler Room, in this he is on his fucking wavelength.
Pitch Black, very cool, kind of mid-budget sci-fi movie about a guy who's being transported to a prison that crash lands on like a dark planet and all the creatures that move in the dark. And
Starring the great Rhoda Mitchell.
Rhoda Mitchell.
Great Rhoda
certainly.
Mitchell.
Cole Hauser.
Great information about menstruation for people watching this movie.
Keith
for the
David
first time.
in this movie.
It's funny. So last night I was watching A Quiet Place, and I realized that A Quiet Place is a Shadow reboot.
It does.
It's pitch black with sound.
It's kind of inverts it.
And also
it's a
the
good call.
creatures don't
Yeah.
look wholly dissimilar.
Is that the same
Yeah.
reason?
Very good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Next pick is Rob.
I'm gonna go straight to wild card, and
Straight to wild card.
Well, I mean, I only have 2 picks left.
What's the other category?
Originals, my last category,
Oh.
and I'm kind of like in a range of originals where it's like there's a couple things I'm okay with. There's one wild card I would
You
really
never
like.
broke a sweat in this draft, man.
I'm scared.
Some rounds I am Malcolm Washington in the Criterion Closet, and I want to talk about the ways that our great artists are in conversation with each other. And some rounds I am John David Washington in the Criterion Closet, going straight for that Jackie Chan box set. And I'm going to take Drunken Master 2, aka The Legend of the Drunken Master, as it was released in the US in the year 2000. Don't at me. Maybe the best kung fu movie ever made.
So, wonderful pick, but you did not go Shanghai Noon here, just so I'm clear.
I
That was
know.
another Jackie Chan
I'm going to
film
skip
released
past
in
that. It's in the
2000.
box set,
Okay.
but I'm probably not going to watch it.
Understood. Drunken Master 2 is sick. All right, Mallory, you've got 2 picks to close out your draft. You are presently missing
Wild
a
card and blockbuster.
Blockbuster and a wild card.
Yeah.
And then we will have 6
I took
consecutive
Charlie's
wild card.
Angels and
Um,
Just Congeniality away from you on Blockbuster. So
You did. Blockbuster is thin.
there's one on the board that I could see working for you. That
There are
was on
two-
my long
There are
list.
actually 2 on the board
and it's
for
underrated.
Blockbuster that-
Undrafted blockbusters, let's just say it,
Sure.
since you're about to pick. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the #1 movie of the year at $261 million. Beloved Jim Carrey classic.
Yeah.
Directed by Ron Howard.
Mm.
Mission Impossible 2, widely considered the worst of the Mission Impossible
Yeah.
movies, at
Second
least on
worst.
this podcast.
After-
What Women Want
Yeah.
has gone undrafted
Yeah.
thus far.
Yep.
Nancy Myers, semi-classic, and a huge hit, the 5th highest
Oh, we're
grossing
saving that
movie of the year.
for Van, who loves Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Right.
Then we go all the way down to Scary Movie.
Uh-huh.
What
Yeah.
Lies Beneath, Dinosaur, where my dinosaur head's at. Disney fans, not a one of them here. And then, of course, Nutty Professor to the Clumps. I saw it in theaters and laughed. Big Mama's House, Chicken Run, and Gone in 60 Seconds. So where are you going, Mal?
I'll be taking my wild card.
What?
I'll be
Okay.
taking my wild card. I have 2 picks in
Yeah,
a row.
alright.
And just
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
matter of principle, based on the quality of the movies Sean just read, I need that to be
Chicken
my
Run
last
is good,
Okay.
by the way.
True. My wild card is a movie that I would say shook the Franklin Middle and Franklin High community.
Are you sure it was this movie that did that?
Some other things as well.
Not Lad's Basement.
I am taking Requiem for a Dream
I knew
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
as
coming.
my
yeah,
wild card.
yeah.
This was like a seminal thing to watch when you
Seminal?
were a young person.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Did you recreate any of the sequences from the film in the basement?
In Lad's
Yeah.
Basement.
Yeah.
He's right there.
I have no comment. Even I have a line.
Jesus
Even I have a line. So that's my wild card. I love that movie and saw it a lot when I was younger.
Did you?
What?
It's so.
Yep.
How the fuck
I like
did you
to-
see it a lot?
My favorite thing to do when I was like late in high school
I
and
have
early
no
in college
idea
was
what's
watching
coming
fucked up,
next. I have
disturbing movies.
absolutely no idea.
The wild card one. Okay, that's my wild card. My
What about
blockbuster, which is my final pick. I'm only actually considering 2 things here. I'm considering because of my deep and abiding love for Harrison Ford. What
Yeah,
Lies Beneath.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I am considering Mission Impossible 2 because while that is, I agree, easily the worst Mission Impossible movie.
Maybe
It
the
is
most Mallory coded.
Also,
Mission
the one I
Impossible
have
movie.
seen without question the most.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it all the time. It is immensely entertaining, albeit quite poor. And Anthony Hopkins saying, "What? Take a man to bed and lie to him? She's a woman. She has all the training she needs." It's just very memorable to me.
I honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him say that.
Says it in the film.
I was showing someone Fallout the other day, and they were like, "Oh, Tom Cruise can't climb that cliff." I was like, canonically, he can climb cliffs.
He can climb that cliff.
Canonically.
Oh boy, this is tough. I kind of want to take Mission Impossible too. Should I take What Lies Beneath?
It's up
Do
to
MI
you.
too.
I do love Harrison Ford so much, but I don't like horror movies. Honestly, I don't.
It's
They're
not
for me.
really a horror
It's,
movie.
it's more of a Hitchcockian thriller.
Yeah.
Domestic
I
drama.
think you should take MI2 since you've seen it a lot and can remember Anthony Hopkins' lines.
I'm
from
gonna
it.
take Mission Impossible too. I'm gonna do it. That's my blockbuster. Let's fucking go.
Great representation for
Okay.
John Woo. I appreciate it. Rob, you've got another pick. You've got to take
An original.
an original film.
I'm gonna take But I'm a Cheerleader, an
Mhm.
original.
Okay.
Damn, that was 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
It is.
I've got like
That's
the
a-
other
wow,
list of
Joanna
2000
is
movies.
full.
Joanna, was that
for
your
some
wild
reason,
card?
I thought that was a little bit
Yeah.
Did
earlier.
he just
than
get
that.
you again?
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
sorry, Joe.
Do you
Wow.
remember?
Some movies Dare to Ask isn't conversion therapy kind of gay,
Yeah.
and they really follow through on that. It is very weird seeing Natasha Lyonne play basic, like normal, everyday high school girl. Very, very startling, but funny, sweet. I love the like dollhousey
Was done.
zine aesthetic of that movie, but I'm a cheerleader.
Great pick. I've got to pick. I wouldn't say this has been my best draft, so I'm just gotta be really, really true to who I was at this time. And in wildcard, I'll be selecting the 2000 documentary Backstage, chronicling the 1999 Hard Knock Life tour, featuring
Punch it in. Come on.
Jay-Z and Method Man and Redman.
I didn't know we could do documentaries. I didn't know that.
Of
In
course you can.
Wildcard, yeah.
In wildcard, they are available.
Or
to
an
you.
Oscar
Or an
nominee.
Oscar.
One
Yeah.
could say this is a great drama.
I tell you, it is.
Backstage.
Remember the Dame Kevin Lyle scene?
Damon Kevin Lyle scene is incredible. It's
Very,
like Glenn
very
Gary.
well.
Yeah.
This was the number one thing I was interested in when this came out, and this being like right post Volume 3.
Yeah. If we got jackets, would they be Ringer jackets or Spotify jackets?
They would be Rockefeller chains.
This is
obviously.
after Meth and Red Blackout record.
It
right?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a very
Fucking
good time in
best.
American music. Beanie Siegel on this tour,
If you guys don't know,
Ja Rule when Ja Rule was okay.
Ja Rule, yeah, Dame Dash was pissed off because they got Def Jam jackets and they were supposed to get. He wanted them to get Rockefeller
Rockefeller
jackets.
jackets, yeah.
It's a crazy scene. It's like, shit went down.
Okay. Who's next?
CR.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Last one. If you're just going Jedi, just blast shield down. I'm picking Road Trip.
Okay.
Todd Phillips. Fucking
Yeah.
going pro.
Yeah.
Breckenmeyer.
Yeah.
When Breckenmeyer
I
was
want a gif of
running
that,
shit,
please.
You know,
What about Tom Green?
Tom Green was
Blast
in this.
shield down.
you know.
Were you not a Tom Green guy?
I wasn't a huge Tom Green guy, but
Who watched the Tom
Honestly,
Green
you
documentary?
Freddie got fingered?
No. He and Drew Barrymore.
Autobiographical.
Yeah, they got married.
That's
They were
powerful.
in
I
love.
didn't even say Drew Barrymore's name when I drafted Charlie.
can I just say
Davis.
it's
didn't.
cool? You
She's
watch Road
important.
Trip,
She is.
and you can tell Todd Phillips like has something.
Right.
It's like that little bit better than what that movie could have been.
I'm not even joking. It's his best movie.
I think
It says more
Old
about
School-
Todd Phillips than
Old
Road
School-
Trip,
Old School
but
is funnier.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'll take Road Trip.
Road
Nice little
Trip
Saturday.
came out in 2000 when I enrolled at Ithaca College.
Mhm.
This film takes place
Mhm.
at Ithaca, and
Wow.
everyone was very intent on recreating as much of this movie as they possibly could when we were at Ithaca.
Also,
in
Amy
2000.
Smart is like my Diane Keaton kind of at this era, you know? Like,
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
what she,
Yeah, yeah,
what she,
sure.
her run that she was on here,
Outside Providence.
culminating with Crank.
Very memorable
Crank,
performance.
Crank
Rat
High
race.
Voltage.
Outside Providence.
That Crank
yeah.
scene is crazy.
Yeah.
That's basement.
When are we
quality.
doing the crank draft?
That is basement quality.
Yeah.
That's lads and basements.
Okay, Joanna. Now that you've been stymied multiple times
Yeah.
with your final pick, you are taking.
I'm gonna take a film that I like specifically did not see in 2000 because it caused a divorce between one of my favorite actors
Oh.
and
Oh, shit.
his cherished director.
Can't believe you didn't take this.
And it is The Beach,
Mhm.
Wrong.
Um,
That's
Mm.
which I think has aged incredibly well. Like I watched it last year, and I actually think it was considered a big flop for Leo. A huge rift for Ewan McGregor and Danny Boyle. But a great Alex Garland story, and Tilda Swinton is fantastic in it, and I think it actually really,
And they
really
don't come back together until Train Spotting, like
T2
two.
Judgment Day.
McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this
McGregor
kicks
and Boyle.
off Garland and Boyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is also a case, in my opinion, of book is better than the movie.
Yeah,
I think the
absolutely it
Garland
is.
novel of this face on is.
I think the
amazing.
beach confused people.
Yeah.
It's
think-
batshit.
Yeah,
It's
I think
a crazy
Yeah,
movie,
I think
in a good way.
for him and where he was in his career, I think a lot of people went to the beach thinking it was going to be a different movie. Than
Oh,
what it
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's a movie that I always loved in theory and never loved as much watching it. But
Yeah. Watching it last year, I was like, this
You dug
is,
it?
yeah. really worked for me.
Okay, Van, you have got a wild card pick ahead of you. You can choose any film released in the year 2000 in the
right?
United States.
Final
of America.
Destination.
Yeah.
I can't believe it went this long.
Yeah.
I almost picked it.
Final
Yeah.
Destination.
The thing is, it's
Scary.
FD2, as Chris and I chronicled on this
Mhm,
podcast.
Right.
FD is phenomenal.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
negging your pick.
Yeah.
And then
Well, you are.
FD3
But I-
has the
You're
best
definitely
one.
negative.
You're,
I'm
you're
negative
definitely
pick.
negative, but
The original Final Destiny is the one. Final Destination is the one with the,
Airplane.
but not the logs in the truck.
That's
no, that's
two.
Oh.
FD2.
That's two.
I support you, Van.
So this is my deal. So this is my deal. When I watch Final Destination, I realized that I would never see another Final Destination movie ever.
Oh, shit.
Ever. I cannot watch a movie where death is the villain. It's too, it fucks with me too much. Okay? I can't do it. I was in the theater, freaked out. The only other movie I thought about taking here was Proof of Life.
Another one.
I've said
yeah.
everything I have
Yeah.
to say about
Yeah.
that film. It's a masterpiece. I wanted to give flowers to some other filmmakers in this.
Can you name the director of Final Destination?
Is it like Jim Levitt? No, James Wong?
No.
Oh, who was it?
I think it is James Wong.
Yeah, James Wong.
Wong, yeah.
Because he does 1,
3.
3.
I
Who
think
did
that's
2?
it.
John Ford?
Yep.
Wow.
Howard
FD2.
Hawks.
Yeah.
I think that proves it's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, Amanda, you've got one more pick. This draft has one more pick.
Oh shit.
Just so you know, you have to materially comment.
Yes. Okay.
on
So
this
this
material
is
to
the
include this in the
Leanne
podcast.
Rhymes version of the song from the hit film
Wow.
Coyote Ugly.
Coyote Ugly, baby.
This is
Is this going-
astonishing stuff for me.
What else was I gonna do? Absolutely.
I don't
Are
know,
you kidding?
Just
I don't know.
Just like
I'm still there.
Art is being made in Coyote Ugly too. Okay,
an
she's a
objectively
songwriter.
terrible
But
movie.
one of
she
the
has
worst
a
movies
block?
I've ever seen.
Wow. I think that's
Pollock is still here.
disrespectful to
Quill
John
is
Goodman.
still here.
That's disrespectful to Maria Bello.
No, Maria Bello, innocent.
who
Everything else
is
in that movie,
hosing people
bad.
down. You know, we
Yeah.
learned
Did you ever
about
go to
bar
Coyote
dancing.
Ugly?
I did. Like in the middle of the afternoon. And
Were you
had
working a
some
shift,
wings.
or what
Yeah, no, I
happened?
was not working there. I did not get up on the bar, but there was. I think that you all forgot what
Boy.
it was like to be 16 and going to the movies, and I did not. And I saw this in theaters, and I had this on many running playlists for many years. Can't Find the Moonlight. Leanne Rhymes can sing.
Yes.
Boy.
Can Piper Parabo sing?
So
No.
know what women want for you.
Ultimately, no. I went with my heart. It was
Ironically.
funny.
Yeah. What women don't want.
What women don't want is
Yeah.
when we
Mel.
rewatched it
Why?
for the
Why,
Nancy
Mel?
Myers Hall of Fame. I think you and I were both charmed by it.
I enjoyed it.
And it obviously, its success allowed Nancy to do a lot of other things, including Something's Gotta Give, which is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Why would I not take Coyote Ugly?
Because it's a bad movie.
It's
a
I think
really-
that'd be the
it's
number one
pretty
reason
shitty.
not
Bad
taking
movie.
it.
John Goodman, he works at the toll booth, and then he gets all the toll operators, to make the tolls go at the same time because she's nervous because she has stage fright. I will say the guy that she dates does not have the most
It's a
charisma.
potato.
Talking about
It's a
the
potato.
English
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Australian. He's Australian.
okay.
It's going this bad.
Sorry.
This guy's already watching podcasts in the middle of this podcast.
He's moved on.
Yeah.
Well, this has been
Boy.
exhaustive,
Yeah. I thought we did a really good job today, man.
That was fun.
declarative. I
Yeah.
think some people have significantly better draft boards than others.
I mean, that's.
Do you want to say on the
it's
record
in the
who
eye
you
of the
think those are?
beholder.
I don't want to say out loud what I think. I'm very impressed with Van's draft. Frequently busting out the Patriot in the 5th round.
Yeah.
That was an interesting choice.
Hey, fuck you guys. I'll tell you straight up right now. I love that movie. I gotta be able to pick the movies I like, guys.
You do. And
What
and you did.
exercise was Jason Isaacs doing when you spoke to him at
He
the
was
gym?
on the basketball court.
Oh.
And he was over on the basketball
Mm.
court, and I walked over to him. I said, "You were great in the Patriot." And he said, I'll never forget, he goes, "I kill a child within the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's not hard to be evil when you do that." That's exactly what he said.
Wow.
'Cause he,
Honestly,
was he
it's a
lifting
great
or was
Most
he-
response.
people would
Oh,
just
he's
say
playing
he was on the
basketball.
basketball
Oh,
court.
Can we get a
playing-
quick?
He wasn't playing basketball. He was sitting on the bench. Maybe he had
Okay.
just played or something. I
Okay.
walked over. I told him that. He was like, "I kill a kid in the first 10 minutes of the movie." So he's like, it's not hard to
So
do.
you don't have the scout on Jason Isaacs.
No, as far as this game. I tell you what, though, the scouts on Englishmen on the basketball court, way down.
I can imagine.
There's other people that have been out there, terrible.
What are you most surprised didn't get drafted?
Well, we can do a kind of quick honorable mentions. I mean, there's a handful of like really well liked critically films that didn't go. Like Chuck and Buck didn't go. Mike White's and Miguel Arteta's movie. Croupier, which is Clive Owen's breakthrough, didn't go.
Wait, I just looked. Okay, I looked that up while we were. Oh, okay.
Is it not eligible? I think it is.
I almost picked the Croupier, but then I double checked it, and then something I double checked said 1998, but I guess that was maybe like
I think the U.S. release is 2000.
Anyway, I would have picked Clive Owen.
That's
and
a very
Croupier.
good film.
Yeah.
David Gordon Green's George Washington was this year. I like that movie quite a bit. Adam Sandler's Little Nicky, a little different from George Washington, but
talk about a classic.
Relevant film. A huge Tarantino, huge fan of that movie. Brian De Palma's Mission to Mars, undrafted.
Mission to Mars is Coyote Ugly level movie. Is how I feel about that.
So you mean
Coyote Ugly
good.
Space?
An
My take on it is
uncelebrated
it could have,
masterpiece?
yes, and also a great Leanne Rimes theme song to Mission to Mars as well. Neil LaBute's Nurse Betty, which before it came out, I was like, this will probably be the coolest movie of all time, and then it was not that. Do you remember this movie?
I do.
Weird, yeah.
But it was like a good move for Renee Zellweger.
Huge hit, The Whole Nine Yards. Didn't talk about that.
Oh,
I do love the whole
That
I was
is
actually
you were gonna
expecting you to
pick
draft
that.
that.
That's a blind spot because I really do enjoy
That's a
that
cool
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Inarritu's Amores Perros was released in 2000.
Yep.
I think that's probably his best movie. U571,
Awesome
submarine movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mostow.
I thought Chris. I mean, seafaring.
Scary movie.
I was gonna pick it earlier, but I went with Meet the Fockers instead. Or Meet the Pans.
Sam Raimi's The Gift,
Mhm.
which, as I've noted, is one of the very few movies ever made about ESP.
Is that
When did you know
You've
that?
known that before? Is that a
Yeah,
thing you
when
like to
did you
know?
note it?
on this podcast at a certain point.
Oh,
When I was
wow.
talking about
Great.
Sam Raimi, probably to you. But
Oh, okay.
You remember saying that?
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Should we make more movies about
Everyone is so
ESP?
weird.
What's that?
It's
Should we make-
really very
Honestly,
fond.
I haven't really
very
heard of
fond of
that.
all
I'm
of you. I
glad you
love
said
you guys.
everyone's so weird.
Oh,
on this episode.
the Lads Basement lore was born.
Yeah.
What about 13 Days?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the Cuban
I
Missile
thought
Crisis
it-
movie.
yeah.
I do like
That's a
that
pretty
movie.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I thought that
It's
was
no
I mean,
Patriot, but
Yeah.
What about
The Patriot is good. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Y'all, when's the last time y'all seen the Patriot before?
it's been a minute.
Ben, I'm
I
in.
think
Yeah,
2000.
like-
I genuinely do like the
Yeah.
Patriot.
Yeah.
What about Billy Bob Thornton's cut of All the Pretty Horses?
Well, that's
yeah.
unavailable to us, as
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe to some of you.
Gone in 60 Seconds,
Mhm.
undrafted.
I can't
Oh.
believe it,
So,
honestly.
a movie that's more is cool than it is
Yes,
good.
looks
the
cool.
trailer for that movie, you're like, this is going to be the best movie of all time. And then the movie
And then
itself
it
is actually
isn't.
quite poor.
Yeah.
The Family Man, starring Nicolas Cage, was this year.
Vertical Limit with Chris O'Donnell and Bill Paxton.
Yep.
Apex Mountain of Apex Mountains.
Chris O'Donnell, what happened?
I think we
another
know what
pod.
happened.
Yeah.
That's another pod. He can't act.
Oh.
Finding Forrester.
Damn,
That's right.
Drive by it.
That's really
Wow.
But he
Quill?
opened the pizza place.
I think it's
I'm,
possible.
I'm sorry to Chris
He's the
O'Donnell. He's
co-owner
a
of
terrible
Pizza-
actor.
It's just
Pizza
what
Hut,
it is.
Pizza,
He was
you
being
know?
shoved down
Yeah,
our throat for
that's it.
8 years, and I was
Not
like,
gonna be
why is
fucking
this
welcome
guy
there.
in
Yeah.
these movies?
He
with
was
real actors?
he was
Great
fucking
face.
Donna Chris O'Donnell. so-
everywhere.
and also
else.
he was on Ed, so I think he used like his NCI whatever money.
What was the most
Oh, that's right, he did
re-quoted
do that.
movie line
Pizza.
from the year 2000?
Yeah.
And was it Sean Connery saying "You're
He's
the man
the
now,
founder.
dog"
You're the
from
man now, dog.
from
Yeah.
Fighting Forrester?
Yeah,
Might
we
be.
all remember the soundboard
There he is.
famously on the. Is it
about that?
YTMND.com? Does anybody remember this? If you
Yes,
just went to
of
that,
course. Yeah.
and is that even available to us right now?
I hope
You're the
not.
man now,
Oh,
dog.
yeah, I
dot
forgot
com.
he was on that. Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
the
you're
best
the
I
man
think
now,
you've ever
dog.
been.
.com.
Mm-mm.
One of the
I
5
don't see a
Best
soundboard.
Picture
Joanna?
nominees did not get selected.
Chocolat.
Chocolat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Never seen it.
I
Not a good
was
movie. I
never saw it.
I've seen actually book was better. The book is really good.
Oh, big episode for
Uh,
the book was better.
Is
Do we
is
have to review our
Yes,
picks
let's
before
very
we go?
Yeah.
quickly read off our picks.
Mm.
So, Mallory, since you went first, you go first.
Okay, in order from
Do whatever
order
you
of the
want.
Whatever
rounds.
you like.
Yeah.
Round 1, I took Gladiator as my Oscar nominee. Round 2, I took Snatch as my original. Round 3, I took Best in Show as my comedy. Round 4, I took Battle Royale as my action thriller horror. Round 5, I took Love and Basketball as my drama. Round 6, I took Requiem for a Dream as my wild card. And round 7, I took Mission Impossible 2.
Rob?
In drama, I have EE. In comedy, Almost Famous. In Oscar nominee, Dancer in the Dark. In action horror thriller, American Psycho. In blockbuster, Aaron Brockovich. In wild card, But I'm a Cheerleader. Sorry, in original, But I'm a Cheerleader. In wild card, Drunken Master 2.
In blockbuster, I've got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. In original, I've got Unbreakable. In comedy, I've got High Fidelity. In Oscar nominee, I've got The Contender. In drama, I've got The Yards. In action horror thriller, I've got Pitch Black. And in wildcard, I've got Backstage. Chris?
In original, I got You Can Count on Me. In Oscar nominee, I have The Perfect Storm. In blockbuster, I have Castaway. Action horror thriller, I have Scream 3. In comedy, I have The Replacements. In drama, I have The Way of the Gun. And in wildcard, I took Road Trip.
I love
Joanna.
that. I love how all of our drafts ended this day. I've got Billy Elliot contentiously in original. I've got Oh Brother Where Art Thou in Oscar. I've got X-Men in blockbuster. I've got State and Maine in comedy. I've got The Cell in action horror thriller. I have Ghost Dog in drama, and I've got The Beach in wildcard.
In original, I have Bamboozled.
Very special.
In Oscar nominee, I have Traffic. In blockbuster, I have Remember the Titans. In comedy, I have Meet the Parents. In action horror thriller, I have The Incomparable, The Patriot. In drama, I have Boiler Room. And in wildcard, I have Final Destination.
Amanda?
In drama, I have The Virgin Suicides. In comedy, Bring It On. In original, Center Stage. In Oscar nominee, Wonder Boys. In action horror thriller, Charlie's Angels. In blockbuster, Miss Congeniality. And in wildcard, Coyote Ugly.
I contend no one has ever been more themselves than Amanda is on this draft.
Yeah, this is a quite draft.
It's
I
another
quite agree.
pretty classic draft from me. Yeah.
This was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Nice
Thanks,
job.
everybody. Really nice work. Thank you to our producer, Jack Sanders, for his work on this episode. Thanks to Bobby
Bye,
Wagner.
Bobby.
Bob.
We love you, Bob.
Later this week on the show, we're digging into Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme, and I talked to Wes Anderson. See you then.